34 days away from the NFL draft. The big board is 60% full. Still plenty of time to draft a winner. Let's see what Pat Kerrane tells us to do in these rooms.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks constipated. It's Short King Summer.
All right, Kerrane, we're here, man. We have not drafted a team in a little while. We've been doing plenty of shows, but it's time. It's time to get to the nitty gritty. How far into the big board are you?
I'm behind you said it's 60% full. I'm only like 55 teams in, so I've got to pick up the pace here. But that's okay. I've been doing a ton of work on the rookies. I'm starting to get like really dialed in opinions on the running backs in particular is kind of what I've been spending my time this week. But all the positions, you start to get a little bit more granular in terms of your opinion. So with that, in the arsenal, I think it'll be fun to draft a little more.
Do you think that you're more likely to find sick super teams with the information we have now about where these guys are likely to go in the draft, or hammering them just sort of an equal distribution? I guess doing about 1.9 teams per day or whatever would get you to basically like a totally equal distribution, or smashing a bunch early before people have, learned about RJ Harvey or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I think doing them before the combine is probably where you have the best chance of landing on a super team, but doing them now, I feel like you have a better chance of, your more of your teams will be good, probably.
Yes.
So
you're not drafting. I mean, I can't even think of Gunnar Helm. Very good example for every team I got, where I got Bayshell Tuten in round 19. I probably have a round 20 Gunnar Helm. Although, did he run at the Big 12 Pro Day? His ankle's probably still messed up. I've not seen. Maybe it comes back around on Gunnar Helm, but probably not.
Yeah, and the other thing is that Bayshell Tuten is, if you look on PFF, ESPN, you look at guys' top 100s, he's not in it. He's not in the top 100 on these sites. He's not in the top 150 in ESPN. He's not on the top 175 on PFF. So, maybe not paying a 12th round price might be the answer for him. It's not like. Now, I wish I had more of him when he was completely free, and I am still willing to draft him now. But it could be the case that, actually the answer is Damian Martinez, who's still very cheap. Or actually the answer is DJ Giddens, who's still really cheap and is in Todd McShay's top 100.
I was going to say, Giddens should be, there's a totally logical argument that DJ Giddens should be, I mean, I would hear up to running back 6 in the class for me.
Yeah.
I learned a name last night, Kerrane, of a guy, a prospect, and I wondered if you talked about this guy with Froton, the Arizona State running back. What is his name? Or Arizona running back. Anyway, continue your thing on Tuten while I look this guy up. Well,
so I've been wrestling with who to rank running back 7, because I've got running back 6 is Skatebo. And then it's who's running back 7? And I think it probably will be Tuten for me, because when I just dug in, I'm well, basically who would I like the most if they all were pick 100? I would like Tuten the most, I think. But my fear with Tuten is that he will
I would
pick 130.
If they were, I would take Giddens.
Oh, you would take Giddens. Okay.
Oh yeah. Giddens is, I don't know. Let's try. How can I explain this without veering too much into ball knowing? Giddens just kind of does it all. He catches passes.
Yeah.
He breaks tackles. He had the breakaway rate. He's a good pass blocker because he played in that really run heavy system. He just like I could see a team being like, okay, he's going to be our third down back. I could see a team being like, why don't we get him on NFL strength and conditioning, make him our grinding back? I could see, and Tuten is just like, well, there's basically one path for Tuten, and he's Devin A-Chain. It's just he goes the A-Chain path, basically. Because I don't think a team would draft him as a pure starter, so it would be efficiency stuff.
That's the concern, is that he wouldn't be drafted as a pure starter. But I think he's got like the profile of the guy who comes from the late rounds and crushes. Like he's the backfield dominator guy. His receiving stuff is good, as is Giddens, but you could see a team putting him on, the field specifically to catch passes, kind of like how Achane had multiple outs that way. He's really fast. He, was a good tackle breaker. So he's pretty consistent, not like amazingly consistent, but solid there. So he's like kind of I'm like, which of these guys looks like in the third round comes in and is like mixing in, and then the team's like, let's do more than mixing here. This guy's like really good. I think it's probably still Tuten, but Giddens is a really
no. You know what Giddens
is?
Giddens is so much more likely to do the Bucky Irving, where he's totally not a part of the team's game plan in week 1, and then by week 8 they're just like, oh, this guy's just better than Jalen Warren, for example. I see there. Not just Jalen Warren was an example of a guy that in that situation.
All right, I'll see you later, Davis.
I mean, Harvey too. Harvey is probably the one that people are maybe. I like Harvey too. So I totally like Harvey. I think he's good, but that is one where he's got to go to the right team. Because if he goes with the wrong running back coach or whatever, wrong offensive coordinator, like, oh, the GM's like, oh, we love this guy. We love the long speed. And then he gets in the locker room and the coach is like, yeah, he's so goddamn soft, man.
Yeah.
Why won't he just go break a tackle?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think if you look at like elusive rating, RJ Harvey's pretty good there. And he broke a bunch of tackles like per game. He actually handled a decent amount of work. He's 205. He's 5'8", but he's 205. So he's not tiny. When I first watched Harvey, I was like, oh, he's going to be a scat back. But then you look at some of his stuff. First of all, I'm listening to like Todd McShay and Steve Mensch, and Mensch is like gushing about his rushing ability and how he runs up the middle and isn't just a small back. So I'm like, okay, like that's nice to hear. Like that the exact worry that I had seems like maybe isn't a concern at all. And then some of the numbers, like he has a 50% success rate, which is one of the highest marks in the class. And he was also like churning out successful runs per game because they were willing to feed him. He has 86th percentile in success rate. So I kind of like was like biased against him because he's small and fast, and was like, oh, he's a scat back. Like he actually doesn't look like a scat back in the numbers at all. And he's big enough to where you could see a team kind of feeding him, not like, where he's like an absolute workhorse, but is he a 1A? Is he kind of like in a Bucky role in terms of the snaps for, until the very end of the season, but maybe more of like a pass catching element involved as well. Because his yards per route run are really good. Now, with a 5'8" back, it is like harder to project that the upside scenario hits.
But a 5'8" back who is like a long speed guy who didn't go to a major college. I mean, that is just like, you're just like rifling off things that make both his range of outcomes in the NFL draft and like on an NFL team. It's just a wide range. I mean, I like Harvey. I take Harvey. I have more Harvey than the field, but I mean, it's just not hard for me to imagining that archetype of guy not getting there.
Do you know what he was recruited as? What he started his career as? He went to Virginia Tech. No, Virginia.
A safety.
A quarterback.
That's actually pretty common. He's
5'8".
No, dude, I view that as such a plus because high school quarterbacks, what that means is they had to have the ball in their hands. They were
I
just the
see.
best. They were just the best athlete at their high school. Like Juwan Jennings. Juwan Jennings was recruited as a quarterback. There's like quite a few guys who were quarterbacks in high school who become running backs. There was a guy at Oklahoma. I can't remember which guy who was a high school running back or a high school quarterback. It's because if you think about it, if you go to like a 3A high school and you end up being good enough to be drafted in the NFL draft, think about how much better you were than all of your high school teammates, you know?
Yeah, good point. So he's a 5'8" quarterback, goes to Virginia, doesn't play, transfers to UCF, doesn't play. Looks like, and at that point he's a running back. He converts to running back there. Then the following year, he looks like maybe he's going to be the starter, tears his ACL in the preseason.
Oh, I'd forgotten that.
So he's 3 years into school. I think 3 years into school, he had 3 carries for 3 yards. That was what he'd racked up as an underclassman. Mostly because he tore his ACL and was not in the right position. So then at UCF, in his 4th season, he's okay. He's very efficient, but he doesn't get a ton of work. And then he just went nuts for 2 years after that. So
I've actually seen him play in person. I just, this memory just shook loose. I went to Oklahoma UCF last year and watched him score a 70-yard touchdown.
That's fun.
Yeah.
How do you look in person?
He looks crazy, dude. RJ Harvey is like kind of like everything that is fun about college football. Like he just is awesome. He just rips off these long runs. What did he do in that? Yeah, 20. Yeah, he was great he was great against OU. But Harvey, I really like. Giddens, it's just hard to find these guys I don't like. Even Skatebo, I was like really high on Skatebo, then really low on Skatebo. Now I'm all the way back in because
I'm back in, man.
Yeah,
I'm back in. I don't know that I want to chase him upwards now, but like at this price, I'm looking to draft him again. I was getting a little nervous, but McShay, I was listening to, and he's like tiering these guys out, and he's like, yeah, tier 2 is because tier 1 for him includes Omarion Hampton, which is a little nuts to me, but he's tier 2 is Travion Henderson, Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson, and Skatebo. He's got him in that. And I'm like,
that is just not right.
It's not right. It's not right. But my big concern for him is, does he go day 3, right? Or does he fall? And I don't know, especially after the combine. So much of the combine for us should be, hey, NFL guys, what did you think?
What'd you think?
It doesn't matter so much like, the fact that Bashal Tuten's RAS is like outstanding is good, but like if he's a round 6 guy with an outstanding RAS,
I don't
not
care.
So good.
I got a lot of that feedback doing the shows after people were like, I don't care about running back 40s. I'm like, well, maybe you don't, and maybe I don't, but NFL teams, the reason why there'll always be. All right, let me collect my thoughts here. The more accurate way to say this is there's always some new guy in the fantasy industry who will do an article or do a spreadsheet and be like, actually, you guys are idiots for caring what people do at the combine, because if you look at it, there's actually a negative correlation between RAS, speed, spark, whatever the hot metric at the time is. And they'll be like, you guys are idiots. Why do you even care? And the reason why we care is because NFL teams care. And the reason why there's a negative correlation is NFL teams actually overvalue those traits. NFL teams overvalue the speed. So a lot of times you'll see guys who are undeservingly kind of overdrafted because of the physical tools. For this exercise, for drafting in the big board, you would rather have a bunch of Philip Dorsetts in round 14 who end up getting way overdrafted in the NFL draft than getting, I don't know, some Skadaboos really of guys who suck at the combine and end up being good.
Or maybe even like a Stephon Diggs.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Because we're playing one season. So like guys who get drafted in the 5th round and take a while to come on. Antonio Brown, drafted in the 6th round, it took him years to become a big star. Like the draft capital for best ball is really, really important. It's more important than for Dynasty in a lot of ways, because we don't have if you're betting on talent, you'd like as large a sample as possible for the talent to win out. If you're betting on opportunity, that's going to hit right away.
Yep. Yeah. And first round picks, second round picks, third round picks, they get a lot of chances to play.
Yeah. Now, draft capital's not the only thing. I'm looking strongly at these profiles, but it does really matter. We would like to bank some draft capital if possible. But I mean, to get back to Skatebo, it seems like he's going to have draft capital.
He's going to have draft capital. Yeah. The Arizona running back, whose name I could not recall, though, was Jacory Croskey-Merritt. I literally had not come across this guy.
I hadn't
just
either until stuff. Renner had him at 100.
Yes.
In his top 100.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know who that is.
I mean, he had 209 touches in college. I'm assuming he went to a junior college before. He played for Alabama State. He was, I guess, fine at Alabama State.
I think he was a Shrine Bowl MVP.
Oh, dude, he's 20. He's going to be 24 when he gets drafted.
Well, Harvey's 24.
I guess that's true. And that's probably why, by the way, that is one of the things that would make these guys more likely to be day 3 picks is that they're, well, I guess it didn't matter with Ray Davis.
I don't think they care. I don't think they care about the age of I think the NFL might care if they're looking at a guy in the first round and he's like, you have the pristine career, you come out and just dominate like Genty. I think that's helpful. But if you're like, hey, you know that day 3 running back that you've fallen in love with? He's actually 24. Should we knock him down? Like, I think these scouts are like, he could be 27. I don't care.
Is Jacory Croskey-Merritt even in the player pool?
I don't know.
In the big board? Let's find out. Let's do this. Let's do this exercise. NFL. I don't think he is. No, he is. He is. Okay. He does not have an ADP. He does not have. He's not have an ADP.
Did he go to the combine?
I'm gonna guess he did not. He is getting some meetings with teams. Let me pull up. Yeah, I don't believe he went to the combine, but he did the Big 12 Pro Day. He did the Big 12 Pro Day, and I think he crushed. 4.45 40, highest vertical, 41.5. So beat what's his name? Beat Skatebo, and we really liked the Skatebo jumps, and he smoked.
Well, we especially like the Skatebo jumps because we're pretty sure there's a 4.65 40 associated with those jumps.
Yeah, frankly, I think he might have even ran if he thought he could do 4.65.
I know. I said 4.65 to be nice because I like him. But
Zach makes a phenomenal point that Tyler Shuck is 34.
That's actually he is literally 27. So I know for a fact that a guy can be 27, and people are still going to be in.
Yeah, I'm not falling. I'm not falling for that. I've been fooled.
He's actually 25, but he turns 26 in September,
and that's basically 27.
Right. Yeah. He's friends with 27-year-olds.
He's friends with 20. He might be married to a 27-year-old.
Yeah, he might be married to one.
Tyler Shuck might have done a traditional courting relationship process with his wife and already have a child. Like it's not like a 20-year-old quarterback already having a child. Like he might already be married, own a house, and have a child on the traditional path.
Yeah, I mean,
Jalen Hurts, who attended 2 colleges, a Heisman Trophy ceremony, and is on his second NFL contract, is 13 years old. Here's a good question. This is always the good barometer because Trevor Lawrence is young. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence and Tyler Shuck are the same age. Same age. In fact, when is Tyler Shuck's birthday? Tyler Shuck.
September 28th.
Okay, he is 9 days younger than Trevor
Lawrence. Maybe there's hope for Lawrence. Maybe that's the way. If Trevor Lawrence was in this draft class, he'd probably be. I mean, I don't know if he'd go over Cam Ward, but he'd go high. He'd go high.
He would go pretty high. All right, let's hop into a big board. Got my rankings pulled up in this. Kerrane, maybe this will be fun for you. You will get a look of what the Sidekick is like without your rankings in it. Although my rankings are not particularly aggressive right now. But we will see. I only have 40 left, man. This is big board 110. I mean, I basically last week I streamed like 2 big boards period because I was like, I'm gonna fucking finish and not have anything to do for a month. Like, I'm gonna be done, and there's not gonna be anything on the underdog lobby to draft.
You could fire up a stream and hop in, the bigger board, and then just talk until it fills. That could be the move.
I was gonna say they would take a long time. Well, probably not actually. Probably if you stream it, probably comes a little bit quicker. I would assume, but maybe not.
Well, hopefully not. Because then you kind of like space them out. You get like, well, no draft this stream, but next time.
But next time,
hopefully next time.
All right, we are in. So the 110, I don't love because it means you don't really get it. You don't really get Genty. Genty now normally goes 13 or 14. You could take him at 10, but then you miss that tier of wide receivers. So I don't want to say I prefer 11 or 12.
Yeah, I like that take. I mean, you still get like a neighbor's at 11 or 12. The other thing is like I'm totally comfortable going like Genty Bowers.
Yeah.
At the 12 hole.
That's the slap start. That is like trademarked. Yeah, that's like
great.
It does not get more slappy than starting a rookie running back and a Raiders tight end.
Yeah. I mean, it is, you would expect it to be a wide receiver start to be the slappiest start, but I do like that but rookie running backs we always loved. And the Bowers. I have so many, like Bowers goes so much later than he falls, you can get him.
He falls. You can get Bowers even if you could theoretically have Bowers ranked after ADP and still get him, get 8% of him.
And then McBride falls. So many of my teams have one of those two guys because, like, from the back half of the board, it's Bowers, and the front half of the board, it's McBride. Actually, it's to the point where I'm like, I really don't have any George Kittle. Yeah, because I've already got one of these tight ends. But I'm not going to change anything. It just makes me a little bummed out.
I'm fine being a little bit light on Kittle. Do you like St. Brown or Brian Thomas Jr. more?
I probably have a slight lean to St. Brown, but I'm fine with Brian Thomas if you want to go that way.
Let's do that. There's certainly some chance that Brian Thomas Jr. gets more competition in the NFL draft. Like they could take Tet. Tet possible, but Hunter far more likely.
Hunter?
Like what is Brian Thomas Jr. ADP if they take Travis Hunter and they say he's playing wide receiver?
Are they trading up for a Travis Hunter?
They pick at 5, the Jaguars.
I just don't think he gets there.
All right. A-Chain, AJ Brown, Brock Bowers.
A lot of times I just take Brock Bowers here.
All right, let's do it. That kind of balances out. Like St. Brown is the adult pick and Bowers is the slappy pick. So that's good.
So, you've got it by the rankings and by ADP, and sort of the sidekick is going to be like, maybe mix it up here. Take some AJ Brown, take some Drake London. But I often go Bowers.
I often go, you don't know ball sidekick. You're just some lines of text in the back end of my
bro.
You're just rankings, bro. You don't know. You don't know that Brock Bowers is a grown man.
You don't know. Sidekick, how am I going to get to 50% Bowers if I take AJ Brown?
Yeah, people are asking this more and more correctly. I mean, Kerrane, we just did the exercise yesterday. It's very easy to see how Hunter gets to 5.
Well, I guess
the Patriots just have to decide
that they're taking Membu.
Just like that, basically, our entire organization is going to crumble to dust if we do not get a tackle.
Yeah, I was listening to Ben Solak and Mina Kimes, and they were talking about, this decision, and Ben was kind of like, basically the whole thing is like the entire thing the Patriots need is like, you've got to protect Drake May. And basically the major thing getting in the way of that is, oh my God, look at Travis Hunter run.
Look at Travis Hunter. Yeah.
Like, look at him move, look at him play cornerback and look at him play receiver. It is probably, he's not a luxury pick exactly because he plays 2 really valuable positions.
It does kind of feel like he is. It does kind of feel like he is a luxury pick, though.
Yeah, the tough part is that like Membu wasn't even viewed as the top tackle in the class by most people until another guy's arms were too short. It's not like he did have a good combine, Membu, but it's not like people have come to view him very differently over the course of the it's that instead Will Campbell is now like a little more risky. And so that's why Membu's the top tackle in the class. I think he's a good tackle prospect, but Travis Hunter is not like a good prospect. He's a blue chip.
He's
holy
great.
Shit prospect. Passing on that guy just seems kind of bad to me. You shouldn't pass on Travis Hunter, I don't think. Like, I don't think
the
Browns should pass on Travis Hunter for Carter, that's fine. But, like the Giants, a rational long-term Giants organization would take Travis Hunter at 3 and not Shedeur. But they got to save their jobs.
Which of these wide receivers do you want?
You want to take your boy?
I mean, I would love to. I basically, like, it's funny at this pick. Frankly, I end up not having a ton of Worthy because I take him earlier. I take you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of my St. Brown teams, I don't have a lot of like St. Brown, Bowers, Worthy all together because my Worthy teams are like Bijan Robinson, Tyreek Hill, and Xavier Worthy type thing. So that's a different little texture there. This part of the draft right here, after Devontae Adams goes, this is the worst part.
I don't like this part either. Yeah. I don't. You know who I'm willing to take here?
Daniels.
Well, I am willing to take Daniels, but a guy I take here sometimes. James Cook is fine, but
he's fine.
Omarion Hampton, I'm starting to take here.
Oh yeah, frankly,
use the leg up ranks. You'll see him in the vicinity here at least.
I mean, if Omarion Hampton goes to Dallas or Chicago or Los Angeles, he's going here anyway. So let's just do it. Yeah. Omarion Hampton, Xavier Worthy, St. Brown, Bowers. We've got our anchor. We've got our wide receiver 1. We got our tight end 1. I mean, I like that. Yeah, I am expanding the Jacquard just by taking Worthy differently. That's how I get my Jacquard tree. See, I think I like Jameson Williams with Amon-Ra St. Brown less, almost significantly less, because not for like regular season. Regular season, I think it's fine. But what's your week 17 case for them both being optimal? It feels thinner to me.
Yeah, I think it's that you're kind of Lions are kind of the smash team in that, like, kind of like the Bengals last year, or
sure,
you just like they're one of the teams where you just want pieces of the Lions in the playoffs. And Jameson has a gigantic week. They ping pong weeks, let's say.
They ping pong weeks.
Yeah.
By no means do I think it's bad. It's not like every time I get St. Brown,
right,
I am also wanting to take Jameson.
The higher the price, I think the less that stacking can kind of move the needle, right? Like in the 4th round.
Exactly. Yes.
It's like, yeah, I want a guy who's going to have a big playoffs, but like another way to do that is to find a breakout player in a range where there's going to be breakout players.
Yes. Yeah. And Hampton, I mean, like, I don't know, I guess you can ask yourself the question, like, oh, if people have Hampton, so people have this team more or less, but instead of Omarion Hampton, they also add Jaden Daniels in to this team or whatever. I don't really care that much.
I don't know that like that many people will have that start and then anything similar to what we're going to do in the back half, because Hampton doesn't tend to come all the way back to the late 5th anymore. He's kind of on that 4th. Like this guy here would be pairing him with Jacobs or whatever. Like he's kind of over there on that side of the board now. On DraftKings, he's in the late 5th still, but on Underdog, not really. So, now there's going to be people from early in the tournament who'll have this start, but
people from early in the tournament have you dominated anyways. There are people early in the tournament who have like unbelievably good CLV on some of their teams anyways, but they also have like, I don't know, they took Aaron Rodgers with Garrett Wilson or something, or just like there are a billion wrinkles like that. And the same thing is true in Best Ball Mania. And the other, my opinion is you care about that stuff way less in the pod luck tournaments. Like there's just so people. Someone could
Podluck,
have
man.
this with Ricky Pearsall in the 100s or whatever. Like, but the pod luck is crazy.
The pod luck is crazy, and so like the odds that you actually see that team.
Yeah,
the final,
the one combo that has you dominated also made the finals.
It's probably just not in the final. Like you're hoping draft to get to the final and then see who's there and
see what happens.
That start isn't there. You're the only start. That would not be surprising at all.
Yeah.
The surprising part is that you got to the final because it's really, really hard to get to the final.
Yeah. I'm sure I could go dig around in my shit and find a round 6 Hampton.
Oh yeah. Those teams definitely exist. I'm pushing back on that at all. It's just how much should you care? How much should you be like, I can't take Hampton in the 4th?
I can't take
someone
Hampton.
has him in the 6th. Like, yes, you can.
Like last year, like I was totally fine just being like, all right, 4th round Rashee Rice. Yeah, why not? I mean, he's going to be the guy you need anyway. So you might as well get the guy you need. That's just always the one instance of this that I can remember actively going away from it was, oh damn! I was hoping we were going to get Addison. What do you want to do?
I like Chuba here, man. And you want to talk about different team constructions?
Yeah,
Chuba used to be in the 4th. So
Chuba used to be in the 4th. Yeah,
Chuba Hampton is going to be less common.
Jordan, I can afford to do NFL drafts because I very wisely stopped entering dingers when they went to the 4-hour clock. I just the notifications were getting out of control. Yes, this is you're very sir. You're missing the point entirely.
I think
maybe on purpose.
Great comment,
I think potentially on purpose. All right.
Yeah.
You want what wide receiver do you want here?
Judy seems fine. This is I haven't seen. I'm not used to taking Pearsall this high. You're pretty into Pearsall.
My rankings have Pearsall super high. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, receiver. We need a receiver, but I am open.
Well, Burden would have been the other guy that I would have rooted for. I mean, frankly, dude, isn't Ricky Pearsall just going to outscore Jerry Jeudy?
Maybe.
The other thing is it adds another quarterback in for us because right now our options are.
You don't want to take Shedeur?
Well, I don't.
No, I know.
Oh my God! Imagine if you were in 120 slow drafts right now with a 1-hour clock, Pat. 120 fucking slow drafts with a 1-hour clock.
I'm just imagining Jordan like listening to someone at work, like his boss stops by. He's like, hey, he's like by his desk, like, hey, so like, and then like they're kind of, and Jordan's just like, I gotta check. I'm on the clock. Man.
He's like, dude, I gotta take Shea Langoliers right now, or I'm gonna die, bro.
He's trying to pull out his phone, like, I think I got an email, like, drafting. He's got 30 seconds left. Oh God, that sounds stressful as hell, Jordan.
No, when they get to an hour, 4 hours is okay. 4 hours you can still do the batch. You just like have an alarm set and you just go through a batch. 1 hour is just it's not a viable way to live. And I would encourage you to think about your choices and do it differently next year.
Hang on. Pull up, Josh.
That just happened to me in my one-on-one. Had to tell my boss I have to make a pick in the dinger. You don't understand.
It's to not say I have to make a pick in the dinger.
You got to say anything else, man. You got to say I got to text my wife back. My kid is sick. See, something. You cannot go, dude. I have to take Christian Encarnacion Strand right now. That can't be what you have to say.
I would go. I actually have IBS. That's I'm gonna be going to the bathroom all day today. No, you cannot admit that you're making a pick in the dinger.
No, you can't. No,
to your boss.
You really cannot.
I have to take a dump. So it's 10 minutes.
Yeah, are they going to do Superflex contest? Because I don't know. I mean, my assumption was that the second the little board filled, they would have a
Superflex.
Just little board, but Superflex, War Room, just whatever it was. Maybe they are discouraged by the fill rate on bigger board and biggest board, so they're just saying we gave you a chance. It might not happen. It might not happen.
Good point by Burgundy Bets, unless the boss is also making picks. So you could kind of float that out.
Yeah,
like,
if you're chill, if you got a chill
if you're
boss.
chill, you're like, oh, maybe he's on underdog. You're like, oh, you enter any of the dinger, and then he's kind of like got his phone. He's a little stressed out, and you're like, I bet he's on the clock and a bunch of dingers. But Pat Mahomes.
So we could do Mahomes, or we can say we don't care about the difference between Mahomes or Goff on this team and take a wide receiver. If you want. I
think the thing is, I don't really care about the difference between these receivers.
Yeah, I guess I don't really either. I mean, I guess I do still have McMillan ranked aggressively. That's not even that intentionally. I guess the market maybe has just moved against me in the last couple days.
Oh, you have Shakir. I didn't realize Shakir was there.
Oh, I have Shakir dead.
Why?
I have Shakir like after Rashid Shaheed.
Why? They signed him. He's a part of their plans.
Yeah, so is fucking Josh Palmer and Curtis Samuel and this is a team.
Play.
This is a team that's so committed to not having one usable fantasy player. It's like just he also is like he's like really fancy Wandale. Like he's the Charizard. He's the Charizard of Wandales.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
Wow. That's Josh's Josh's
nice. Okay. All right. Well, I take back telling about the dinger then. It's it's a good situation you got there.
Which wide receiver do you want?
I like Downs. Downs is really good. So
Downs is kind of the Charizard of Shakir's where
yeah, dude.
He's so good at getting open, but he can actually score touchdowns is the thing with Downs.
If you put Downs on the Bills, he would be a smash. I would take him. I don't even want to say where I'd take him. It'd be too early. It would be too early. I'll tell you that.
Yes. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. Like I know I've like forgot more about Khalil Shakir than most people have ever known. In fact, maybe that's actually why I don't love him, because I was a giga Shakir bull as a rookie. I actually used him in that game. What was the game? He got a start in week 5 against Pittsburgh, 3 for 75 and a touchdown. He got a touchdown on like the worst broken coverage you've ever seen. I remember arguing about it with Pete and Dave on the Swolecast, being like, this guy is a smash. He also was awesome at Boise State, but he was used in a very, very different way in college that I kind of wish that the Bills would use him. Mm-hmm. The issue is the Bills have kind of typecast Shakir is just like he's okay. You know who he is? He is Chiefs Juju Smith-Schuster. That's who Khalil Shakir is on the Bills.
I think that's like exactly right. I was going to say he was the Charizard of Cole Beasley.
Yes.
But
yeah.
By the way, I need for Best Ball Bros this summer for Pete to have Charizard. As the top of the sidekick for you as in the video. I think that's what we need.
Well, Kerrane, you know what's funny? You don't watch basketball, do you?
No.
Okay, so there is a current bit going on with the Lakers that they stole my bit.
What do you mean? They're doing the Charizard?
I'm about to show you.
Okay.
The Lakers stole my bit.
No way.
When this loads. Yeah. Maybe it's more Lakers fans, but they are doing the Charmander Charmeleon Charmander Charizard with Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and Dalton Connect, because they have three dribbling white guys is the thing. They have 3 white guys who dribble the ball a lot. Here you go. Dalton Connect, Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic. They stole my bit. They
legitimately just completely stole your bit.
Yeah.
Now you were the first person to ever come up with this, right?
I wasn't, but I kind of brought it back into the mainstream, and now Luka Doncic wore this shirt the other day. He like the pregame thing, like walking in, he wore this shirt. Which you have to feel a little Marvin Mims here, by the way, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, we are a little behind at wide receiver. Shakir, 1 game over 50 points, no games over 20. Yeah, that's basically my point. I think Shakir is totally fine. He's cromulent. He's a bad fit for the scoring system and a bad fit for this particular game type. Also, if Shakir does have a Giga Mega spike, isn't that just like a lock to come in a 40-point Josh Allen game? Like a game where like the game against the Rams, like where Josh Allen just has to put the whole team on his back. So it's like if you have Josh Allen, sure, have at it. Take Shakir out of ADP. I'm totally fine with that. But
no, I think Josh Allen, or if you have an elite quarterback that can maybe match Josh Allen, but we have Patrick Mahomes, so we're dead.
Yeah, we're dead. We have a quarterback who can't get 40 for sure. All right, do we want Kelsey, Hollywood, May? Up to you.
Kelsey makes a lot of sense to pair with Mahomes.
Just be done at tight end.
Yeah. May, obviously, I'm happy to take at any point, but
so we've got Richardson live, Purdy's gone. We might get a little bit stuck. We'll take Kelsey. We might get a little bit stuck here at quarterback.
Yeah.
Probably gonna have to take Geno. Yeah. He's Charmander, good Pokemon. He's just not a Charizard, right? I think we can all. Yeah,
Charmander's a solid. I mean,
he's a good starter.
I remember it takes a lot of work to get to the Charizard level.
I mean, we're talking hours, dude. We're talking 15 plus hours of gameplay before you're getting your Charizard.
Yeah, Charmeleon is not. I mean, that's a diss, but I don't think Charmander's a diss.
Yeah. If Skatebo is a Charmander, who is his Charizard?
Austin Ekeler.
Yeah. 100. Yes. Yeah.
Because he's small, but like that's
small.
Like exactly. But Ekeler did all the things you'd want Skatebo to do, despite being small.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah. And he's even a tackle breaker. You wouldn't think of Ekeler being as a tackle breaker, but he peak Ekeler was actually a great tackle breaker.
Yeah.
CMC and Skatebo. It's CMC because here's the thing: they don't play anything. They play nothing alike. Like literally, no thing you could. Gerhardt could be the Charmeleon of Skatebo's for sure.
Because I think the thing about Skatebo that we really can't underrate is that he's a really good receiver.
Really good receiver. 1.9 yards per route run.
Danny Woodhead is, but I think Danny Woodhead might be another Charmander. I don't know if he's a Charizard.
I don't know, man. Peak Woodhead.
He definitely had a good season there.
Yeah. No, he had like 3 really good seasons. Oh my God. Speaking of talking to your boss, I'm on the clock in 9 dingers right now.
Oh no.
I should do this. I should start my own draft guide. Like I should totally do JJ's bit, but all it is Pokemon comps. There's just the whole thing. The whole thing is built off of Pokemon comps.
There's only 3 tiers, and it's not granular enough. It's just like half the guide is just like, I don't know, he's a Charmander.
Now I believe in the new, and this is out of my range of expertise, but I believe in the new era of Pokemon. There are like Pokemon can evolve like 5 or 6 times.
Really?
I believe that's I've not played one of these games in a decade, so I need maybe someone with children to weigh in, but I believe that is the case. Peyton Hill. Okay, there you go. That's the Charizard of Skatebo's.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, there's just that 1 year. Just that 1 year. But sure. Peak Peyton Hillis. Although again, I don't think he wasn't as much of a pass catcher as I'm hoping Skatebo will be.
Look, all right, we got a fact because that was my thought too, but then I was like, I don't know, does that make any sense? All right. We're up. So I actually think one of the things we could do here is take a quarterback.
Quarterbacks are flying off the board.
Yeah. What's the one that makes the most sense? I guess.
Scroll down on the sidekick, see if anyone's popping up.
Ward.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Ward could, I don't know, whatever.
We don't have anything that
We had nothing really that made any sense there, and we don't
Yeah.
we could have taken Gino or Richardson there, but yeah.
I like the call though. We kind of need to protect ourselves a little because if we want to go 3/4, like Gino's still on the menu, I think we could easily take him.
Yeah,
later,
he could maybe still come back around. Ward,
Yeah.
I think is strong there. Jacob Hester would be the Charmeleon.
Right.
He would be fairly low. All right, Peyton Hillis pass catching. How many the Madden cover year? How many passes do we think he caught? This answer is gonna. I have it up right now. It's gonna blow your fucking mind.
Like 40.
61 on 77 targets. Unbelievable.
Okay.
All right. I mean, I get if you're gonna take Pacheco, I guess
he's way behind ADP.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's a good pick, and I think he's like so likely to be replaced by like not even one guy, but like an amalgam. But
we don't think is a good pick either. But what pick was that? 135.
135.
Okay. I mean, we're in backup territory now.
Now, are people saying I have this in the wrong order? This is Charmeleon, this is Charmander, this is Charizard, correct? Or do I have them mixed up?
Well, Charmeleon is pretty clear. He's the little baby dinosaur.
He's the little baby one.
Yeah.
Yes. So Charmeleon is the lowest. Oh no, we're saying that I'm saying them wrong. I just misgendered a Pokemon.
Charmander's the first?
Charmander is the first. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Hey, we learned something today.
Charmander's the baby.
Okay, Charmander's the baby. All right.
Okay, all right. The chat has corrected us.
I guess maybe I'm not starting my own new draft guide now.
I mean that is a pretty big error to have your entire tier system be off by
imagine I do this bit. I like feed all this information into ChatGPT like just as a joke, and I like set up a PDF and I have it all. And I
Greg says, I hate that I got frustrated about this. I'm a grown man.
I'm a grown man.
Greg, that makes me so happy though that you're sitting watching this going, it's fucking Charmander.
It's fucking Now, good point. Kind of forgettable. Not much of an evolution when you grow that random one horn on your head. Frankly, I agree because
no. Pull it up again. It's more than that. I mean, look, this is the literal baby. It's a baby. This guy,
he is a baby.
He's toddling around. He's got his arms out for balance. I would say he grew up substantially.
Yes. Now, this evolution, I mean, that is there's a real the guy has a fucking tank on his back.
Blastoise is that's a pretty big,
and that's easier to remember. The names are very different.
Wartortle, I think, is a little overstating, right? Blastoise, great name.
I agree.
Squirtle, appropriate name. Who you kidding, Wartortle? You're not a turtle of war.
Maybe Skirmish Turtle.
Skirmish Turtle would be an appropriate name for that creature. Skirmish Turtle kind of sums it up.
Oh. A lot of Blastoise fans in the you know what? Skatebo does kind of look like Blastoise straight up.
Blastoise, dude.
All right. I'm not taking Dobbins here.
Thielen, I kind of like. Is Bryce Young still around?
No, if we want a quarterback, we're gonna have to do it at this next turn. Dobbins, Dowdle. I mean, God, do we want to double dust it on this team? I do not.
No, I don't think we take Dobbins. Get Thielen in there at least. Davis is fine. Davis is fine.
Davis.
Yeah.
It just feels like there's if you take Pacheco, I think you've already casted your one dust ball.
Your dust ball has been spent. Yeah, you can't be dusting again. Any rookies in the mix here on your ranks?
I think honestly most of the rookies are so high in my ranks that they're not really.
They're already gone.
It would be like Harvey.
Yeah.
Harvey, or our third quarterback, Harvey or Gino or Richardson.
So Gino's 169. What pick are we right now?
We're probably after 169. We're 159. No chance
Let's
he
take
comes
Gino
back in this
and
room.
have him come back. Yeah, you're not coming back.
More likely there's a running back at the next pick that we like, as opposed to, I have noticed this, the big board, like basically like once one person decides to start taking quarterbacks, everyone else is like, well, fuck, I don't want Aaron Rodgers as my third quarterback, because there's a certain subset, like I guess basically after, frankly, even Darnold is like, nah, I don't think a lock to start 17 games.
He's
so
not. The contract stuff's kind of scary there.
Yeah. So Darnold, Shadur, Dart, Carr, Russ, Cousins, Rodgers, Daniel Jones, Jalen. These are all guys who are favorites to get multiple starts, but not 17 starts.
Yeah, I mean, they still don't on SpotCheck, still don't have the details up, but like from what was reported, they can get out of the contract after the year, and he needs to pass a physical for them to do so. So that's not an injury guarantee exactly, but his money guarantees like the 10th day of the league year or something for 2026. So he needs to pass that physical next winter,
Yes.
If in November you're like, hey, kind of be nice if Sam Darnold could definitely pass a physical this winter.
Right.
Maybe you're benching him, and benching him for Sam Howell. No way. But we could be talking about
Jackson Dart.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, he is just a full-blown bridge quarterback. Maybe that doesn't happen, but there's a risk of that. And the upside is you get Sam Darnold behind a leaky offensive line. Doesn't seem like a great risk-reward proposition.
No, I'm like, frankly, I'm pretty out on, unless yes. Also, someone asked this, and this was the first example to my mind. NFL Magikarp to Gyarados was year 3 Devontae Adams. That was exactly what was in my head. A guy who went from being useless to being awesome. I can see this. Actually, I can big time see this. Cam Skatebo equals Alfred Morris. I can definitely.
Now, Morris didn't catch passes, though.
Morris did not catch passes at all. No.
Yeah.
No. There was, I believe,
the Hillis comp was sneaky good.
Yeah, and you hate to do it, but at the same time, you don't hate to do it that much. No.
Now, I take a lot of Iamaner. Iamaner, I think is how you say it.
I moved him way up in my rankings after the combine. I think I moved him up like 30 spots in my rankings after the combine.
Oh, I wanted Tyler Algier or Iamaner. Noel, I like Noel.
Yeah, let's do we have a rookie? No, we do not have a rookie wide receiver yet. So let's do Jalen. No, I try to not take more than 2 rookie wide receivers on a team. You're just opening yourself up to
in the 20 rounds. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I will, I'm kind of like, because the thing about where it kind of depends. Like, I'll sometimes just take a few rookie receivers at the end, trying to catch spike weeks with using those 20 rounds.
That I actually think is worse, because the round 20 rookies are the guys who are most likely to be giga ass. Like the guys who are like most likely to like just like not matter at all. Yeah.
Braylon Allen, I'm kind of down. Yes, they are, but you are potentially, like, let's say, like Ty Felton, who I've started to mix in a little bit. He could be a 3rd round pick, and hasn't been drafted in a bunch of the tournaments. So you're kind of like you're hoping to bank draft capital that people aren't, fully woke to.
Yes.
Now, what I like better is trying to bank draft capital on a guy like Jaden Higgins or Noel, who are getting in the 15th round here. He could be the 40th pick in the NFL draft. Noel. Some guys really like him.
100%. Same for Higgins too. Now the market is more woke to it on Higgins. Higgins has gotten more expensive. Yeah. I think the rookie wide receivers, frankly, to me, I do like these range of guys. But this range of guys that I was taking early, like Besh, I think is kind of the last one.
I still like
Williams,
Besh a lot.
Savion Williams,
I'm out on Savion.
Ricky White, Torrey Horton, these guys. I mean, I think those guys are closer to like almost absolute zeros at this point. Although, I mean, if Savion does become a running back, if some team takes him as a running back, that's how you win the big board, man. I'm being dead ass about that because he's a really interesting running back prospect.
Yeah, I mean he's like 6. He's a Latavia. He's built like Latavius or something. He's quite tall for a running back. Isn't he like 6'2"?
He's like 6'4".
Is he? Jesus. Okay.
The comps for him
6'4".
are,
oh my god.
Yeah, the comps for him are Latavius Murray. 6'4", 220.
Yeah. Garrett Blunt was tall.
Brandon Jacobs was 6'4".
With all due respect to Savion Williams, he is not Brandon Jacobs. That man was.
I mean, in today's NFL, that might be a compliment. I don't know what would Brandon Jacobs be? I guess he'd be a fullback probably.
Has Google's AI considered being right once?
No.
Hey, let's Savion Williams. No. What do you think Savion Williams' weight is? On Google, according to Google AI, that
185.
All of humanity has come together to serve up the glorious Google AI listing Savion Williams as 291 pounds.
No, it's so bad, and I don't even understand.
Right once.
I don't understand how Google AI is so bad. They're the richest company on earth, and I can just go to like any other AI thing and it easily works. Like, how is Google AI so bad?
Hey, at least it's really easy to turn off.
I've not even tried.
You can't. You can't turn it off.
You can't. Yeah, it's Google is. It's like unbelievable how unusable it is now.
It's important that you have all the wrong information. I like Restrepo. Right? I like Restrepo. Oh, who did you say?
I like Trey Tucker more.
Sure.
Than
as
Restrepo.
A stack. That's fine.
Yeah. As a stack and as what's the best way that Restrepo ends up mattering as a, like, I feel like you know what he is arbitrage Egbuka, but he just ends up you know what he ends up being? He just ends up being a Shakir ass wide receiver.
That's right.
That doesn't really matter for our game. That is fine.
That in the 17th round, brother, that matters. You get a Shakir ass pick in the 17th round.
That's fair. You know what? Unironic. That's fair. Yeah, the Cowboys still. Although yesterday in our mock draft, they fixed their wide receiver spot by grabbing
Matthew Golden.
We don't want Eli Mitchell.
Scroll up on the sidekick. Who's the top guy?
Kendra Miller. We can take one more rookie running back. Give me a name. Do we want to take Croskey-Merritt?
Honest to God, I don't mind taking Mitchell and just taking a couple stabs at the backfield.
Yeah, and you know
really
what?
Need to score well.
On top of that, I would also just like to say, like, I'm mostly shorting the Kareem Hunt $1.5 billion deal for Hunt. It's like, sure, whatever. I mean, he's bad. He had 0 runs above 20 yards last year.
I mean, just watching, like, if you told me he had like 8 20-yard runs, I'd be like, no. You told me he had 2, I'd be like, show me the 2. But I don't. Yeah, that's not. I mean, he was just the success rate guy.
200 rushes, 55% success rate with a long of 20.
Yep. Oh, so he did have a long of 20.
Who's the Charmeleon?
Now, hang on. So Charmeleon is
the mid.
The middle. He's the mid. Okay.
Well, Luther Burden is the Charmeleon.
Maybe they're saying he's the Charmander.
So
I'll tell you who the Charizard is. It's DJ Moore.
Yeah. Yep. 100%.
So who's the Charmeleon? Now, are we saying Charmeleon, but is it Charmelon? Look how it's spelled.
It's Charmeleon because he's.
How did we get the Ilion? The Ilion. We're doing a lot. We're doing a lot with that.
Well, it's a translation, right? because their Pokemon are all originally Japanese.
What?
Yeah, do you not know that?
That's American. It's American made, I thought. No, I'm kidding.
I disagree. I disagree with Debo. He's not.
Well, first of all, he would be a Charizard.
Yes, Debo would be a Charizard. That's obvious. There we go. The people were not spelling it correctly. Yeah, Charmeleon as in Chameleon.
Oh, okay, good. The chat. There's a few. I've tilted the chat again by pretending
a couple times.
Pokemon was American.
So DJ Moore is the Charizard.
It's by the same. His name's Chuck. He's the same guy who did Hello Kitty. I thought Chuck made it.
Kavante Turpin would be.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Would be the
created in Motor City. Yeah.
See, in my mind, Luther Burden is already better than Jaden Reed. Curtis Samuel is the.
I think Jaden Reed is the right answer. I think that's the right answer because you don't. I mean, Burden could stink. You know.
Yeah,
he's a rookie. He's a rookie. He comes
man.
in. He's got to be he's the Charmander. Every rookie's a Charmander, right? For at least a snap.
Yeah. All right. How do we want to end this one?
Curtis Samuel actually is a good call. That's a good call.
Mahomes, Ward. We have Geno double stacked. We have Mahomes double stacked, triple stacked actually. Hampton, Hubbard, Pacheco, Ray Davis, Braylon Allen, Elijah Mitchell, St. Brown, Worthy, Pearsall, Downs, Marvin Mims, Jalen Knoll, Trey Tucker. I guess probably one more tight end and then another wide receiver.
Yeah, I think tight end's luxury, but totally fine. You have Slayton at the top here. That's fine.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just like so default.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Let's live a little.
Kareem Hunt, we could just take all.
We could just take
the guys who are going to get replaced by a rookie.
Let's take let's slurp some Turpin.
Oh, that doesn't sound that fun to me. Why don't we take the tight end?
3 years, $19 million. It's too late. My fingers are not nimble enough. 3 years, $19 million, dude.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's like Josh Palmer money.
But to do what?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I don't want to take the Walter Goggins of wide receivers, man.
Oh, Skatebo's Charizard is Matt Forte. That's even better than Ekeler. Wow, that is spot on.
I love it.
Dane. Yeah, that's really good. All right, we can take whatever tight end you want here.
I think Mason Taylor.
Yeah. Did you see that gauntlet drill, bro? Did you see that gauntlet? Unbelievable.
Dude, it's crazy to me. Like, and it shouldn't be surprising, but like Mason Taylor and Elijah Arroyo, like both basically did like nothing as far as production goes.
Nothing.
Meanwhile, Harold Fannin was like breaking records. And when you listen to like the tight end class, it's like tier 2, Mason Taylor, basically he's a complete football player, does everything. Elijah Arroyo, just like the traits are off the charts, like instant impact offensive player. I'm like checking, I'm like looking at
Harold Fannin. Harold Fannin, go to jail immediately.
Harold
go to jail now.
Not even in the same tier. Not even in the same conversation. I don't even understand. What would anyone see in Harold Fannin? Meanwhile, he's just like catching nonstop passes, running all over the place. Like
53% market share. 53%.
I know it was at Bowling Green, but like maybe like I don't know, like what he did in football games should be important. Can we like maybe care about what guys did in football games a little bit more?
No, we just have to care that Mason Taylor is Jason Taylor's son.
Yeah, Mason Taylor, just an incredible human. Just works his tail off. You wouldn't know it by looking at any of his stats, but works his tail off.
Yeah.
It's fine. I think Taylor and Arroyo are very strong 20th round picks.
You know what's funny is Jack Besh posted the best LSU tight end season in the last 5 years, and no one even cares.
Jack Besh. It's a shame he's listed wrong in the app. You know,
dude, he should be. Oh my god, if Jack Besh was listed as a tight end, 10th round pick, straight up.
I'd be in. Yeah.
You know what? We could get an all-time Marcus Colstoning thing here. If some team decides they want Besh to be a tight end, but then the coaches decide no, he's a wide receiver.
Right.
We could get a Marcus Colston part 2. This is very unlikely to happen, but in the range.
The thing with Jack Besh is that, like, so we got the big Senior Bowl. He like kind of owned Senior Bowl week, and it was like, oh my God, Jack Besh. You kind of, if you listen to podcasts now, you'll hear Jaden Higgins in that, like, well, why not just wait? Like, don't take a receiver here. You can get Jaden Higgins in a second round. That name used to be Jack Besh, and it's been replaced. And now I'm like, did I just get rug pulled on Jack Besh by the NFL? Like, if he falls to the 4th round, I'm going to be so pissed. Because the whole reason I cared about him was this draft capital
they liked
hype.
him.
You told me you liked this guy. If you don't, NFL, if you don't like Jack Besh, please tell me now. Don't tell me on day 2 when he's not taken. Because that's really why I'm interested. If he's a 4th round pick, I have no interest in Jack Besh. But as a 2nd or 3rd rounder, he's pretty cheap.
Yeah. All right. You want to do one more?
Sure.
All right. Let's do this, boys. Maybe less Pokemon talk this time, but honestly, no promises. It's kind of your guys' fault, really.
No, I was hoping for more. I wanted to see what was it? I was unfamiliar with the evolution of the Pokemon that Devontae Adams was. I wanted to see that
Magikarp. I mean, he's useless.
Magikarp, yeah.
Magikarp is a useless. It can only do Splash, which inflicts no damage at all, but it can evolve, I believe I want to say level 50 to Gyarados, which is a dragon type Pokemon.
God.
And is like the best.
Wow. See, that's some real creative work from Chuck there. You know, he was always
Chuck is good at the game.
Chuck is good at the game. You know, he's always thinking about interesting ways to make the Pokemon fights more interesting.
Only level 20. All right. I mean, you know what? Hold on. This is going to be a good bit. I actually this is so funny. I literally have in my desk drawer, I have a Game Boy Advance with multiple Pokemon Alpha Sapphire sitting right here. I keep that thing. I mean, I have not played this in a long time, but these are literally sitting in my desk drawer.
As I watched you do that, I just felt like road trip come over me. Like we're gonna be in the car. Like I was like, we're gonna be in the car for 7 hours.
It's a Nintendo DS, guys. I do have a Game Boy Advance in there. Don't test me right now. I've got them all.
Don't get called out. It's a different game system.
We're not doing this. They're all in there. They're all in there. All right.
Just before this comment gets lost to time, could you pull up a Schmalls 456? You have to grind your dick off with a useless fish to get to the full dragon later.
That's real. So what you have to do is you have to start the battle with Magikarp, let Magikarp go through one turn, and then sub in your Charizard or whatever, so that he gets some of the experience points. That's the only way to do it.
Damn.
Yeah. People are saying it. Famously not a dragon type. I don't even know if that's true or not. It's like I know some of the stuff, but some of it has left me because I need to know, I need to know like Harold Fannin stats off the back of my head.
Pokemon brings out the well actually in people more than anything else. This is a hilarious comment, and then the replies are not a dragon.
Not a dragon, dude. Not a dragon.
Good
water dash flying. Wow, look at this.
He's water flying. I can't believe you thought it was a dragon.
So CD goes 4, so we could take Gibbs or Jefferson.
Jefferson sound. Oh, Gibbs is also. Damn, he's not here a lot.
You don't get it. We're gonna have a sicker combo if we do this. Let's taking Jefferson because what'll happen is because Gibbs is 4.6 and Jefferson's 4.2 is that this combo that is going to be available here, whether it be whatever it might be is just going to be slightly less common. Pokemon, frankly, Pokemon Kid and a Best Ball adult.
It is honestly the evolution.
Handshake emoji.
That's kind of the. Would you say it's sort of the Magikarp evolution? We're dragons now.
Frankly,
we were splashing around little fish before.
And frankly, I mean, Gyarados not being a dragon type, it's literally nonsensical. It's basically the game developers like doing a cheat because dragon type is so powerful that it kind of breaks the mechanics of the game. Yeah.
Now what he's flying? He's a flying type? Yeah,
dragons fly.
Yeah, well, dragons don't fly. What are you kidding me?
depending on the historical basis that you're going from.
Yeah, that's true. Non-flying dragons is, I mean, hey, those are lizards. That's a lizard. A non-flying dragon is just a lizard.
You're just trying to catch all the good players. That is true. Gibbs went 1-8 in this.
That's crazy.
So that, frankly, Gibbs McCaffrey, that's pretty good combo.
That's pretty nutted.
You might have gotten the two highest scoring players in fantasy, right there.
Well,
Bowers at 9. Good
thing we got Podluck, because that team's pretty sick.
Yep. Well, frankly, I mean, we're gonna be eliminating it. I mean, AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson would be quite okay. All right. Yeah. Well, guess we'll just do. I'll do whatever here. Actually, I don't care. What do you want?
Jonathan Taylor is fine. I don't really draft a ton of them, but
I don't either. But I think I'll probably end up being overweight on him for two reasons. The first being I don't want to do a ton of wide receiver starts because I think you get pretty far behind when David Montgomery or whatever is your.
Well, you got Judkins, you got Hampton, you have
ways to get out. You have ways to get back to even. And but also I don't want to do any, like, if you take Barkley or Robinson, I'm never taking Taylor, at the running back.
Yeah. I'm not
running back. You're just as dead. Hey,
Taylor to me is
I'm not out. I just took him, Jordan. I just took him. I'm not out.
Yeah, he's just not that fun of a click. But we both agreed to take him. No one argued against him. He was at the top of the sidekick. Everyone was on board, man. Everyone was on board.
The thing with Jonathan Taylor is that, yes, he did just break best ball, but you have to do the same. You have to endure the same thing that you have to endure with like Derrick Henry types, where it's like, sure, you get that. You also get some 13 for 48, some 24 for 52s with nothing because he does not catch passes at all.
Drafting Colts is distressing because it reminds you of the chaotic nature of the future. Right? You have to, in order for Colts to pay off, you have to like think through like the fact that we really don't know anything, and that like Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones are probably going to like ping pong weeks, and you're just going to be like praying you get the right quarterback in the right week for whoever you drafted, and it's going to be messy as hell. And then you start to think about how actually all of these teams are going to be messy as hell, and we've convinced ourselves into thinking that they're not,
right?
Because chaos is distressing. And then you're like, why did I draft the Colts? Now I'm fucking stressed out. So that's why we don't draft Colts.
No, true. 100% true. Also, I did not know this, that Oronde Gadsden's dad was a Dolphins wide receiver. This is literally the first time hearing of this.
But he was Oronde Gadsden. The name rang a bell.
Well, he's
because he's Oronde Gadsden the second.
Oronde, yeah. And I assumed, there, of course, like, I assumed his dad had something to do with football, but hey, man, he was okay.
Yeah, he was solid.
48 receptions as a rookie in 1998, that, like, basically would make you Randy Moss.
You got to triple the stats. It's like inflation.
Yeah. Age 27 debut, I just noticed that. All right, DJ Moore or Trey McBride?
Trey McBride, man. This dude should be a second-round pick. There's no reason he should be here.
Done. Sold. the classic 1-1-1 start. Now we need to take Jane Daniels or Jalen Hurts with our next pick.
It's not like inflation. It is like inflation. $40 back then.
Why did
would
he
have been
debut
worth
at 27?
Like $150 now. It's exactly like inflation, but
tell me why this
Kevin.
guy debuted at 27. Rondé Gadsden. Now, also another thing, he would have been of age at the right time on the Dolphins to be in the Jim Carrey movie. The
no,
I'm wondering
that's too late.
I don't think so. I think it was late 90s, wasn't it?
I think it was more like 96, that kind of era. I don't think it was at the beginning of the 2000s.
Ace Ventura came out. Yeah, okay, I'm wrong. 1994.
Okay,
1994.
yeah.
Gadsden was not selected in the 1995 NFL draft because he was too slow. UDFA for the Cowboys. Never played, just on the practice squad. He credits Hall of Famer Michael Irvin for teaching him how to play. Promoted to the active roster in the NFC Championship game, but he hurt his ankle. He was on the IR. Then he played for the Frankfurt Galaxy in the World League of American Football. Then he played for the Portland Forest Dragons in the American Football League, where he played wide receiver and linebacker. And in 1998, the Dolphins needed to find a capable complement to O.J. McDuffie. Entered the season as a 27-year-old rookie. His first NFL reception was a 44-yard touchdown.
Hell yeah.
The distinction of catching Dan Marino's last touchdown pass. This dude was frankly, I'm now
Davis,
all the way back in on Aranda Gadsden the second.
Jordan's comment here reminds me, are you reading this off Google AI? Because if so, it's just it's a fairy tale. None of it actually happened.
I'm reading that straight off Wikipedia.
Okay, all right, good.
So I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. Two-way player, Travis Hunter, who wide receiver linebacker is actually a crazy crossover. Really?
Can we ask Google AI if Aranda Gadsden ever slew a dragon?
Now, I think we should. This room seems insane. We should take Devonta Smith here, and maybe we get Jalen Hurts in the 5th.
I think that's the right call. Receiver is how we protect ourselves here.
And we're fine if we don't get him anyways, but
right.
we're extra stoked on Jalen Hurts. OJ McDuffie is Trent McDuffie's dad. The NFL is
really wow.
Yeah. All right. Our Kansas City Chiefs. Google AI reports Aranda Gadsden captured a Gyarados in the 2047 Super Bowl.
Wow. Google AI. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Stay woke.
Google AI does not understand that Gyarados is not a dragon type. It can't get anything right.
It can't get anything right. It's not getting anything right. Oh man, you know what is annoying? We maybe would have even been able to get Jalen Hurts, but we're not going to be able to because this guy to our left is auto drafting.
Oh God.
So any chance that we could have got him is going to go out the window because that is you want to get me triggered. Put me next to a guy who is auto drafting in a big board.
It sucks too when the two guys, the combo you want, are both going to get auto drafted. There's no way. There's no way to hack it. Because sometimes if you're next to him, you're like, my preference has the low ADP, so I'll just not take that guy. Let the auto drafter grab, the guys with the higher ADPs, the better ADPs. You know what I mean? But here we're screwed. And there goes Hurts.
Neighborhood's friend works for Google, had a breakdown over their AI products and had to take a leave. He's trying to tell it. It's not a dragon type, dude. I very clearly explained to you Gyarados is not a dragon, and it just keeps bringing back dragon type.
Hey, your friend, when you walk out of a room, you could hit the lights generally. Could your friend, as he takes a break, could he just turn it off while they fix it? That would be our preference, I think. Hey, this doesn't work, and I'm gonna have to take a leave, but let's leave it on.
Oh man,
let's leave it on for everyone.
Please don't do it, dude. Joan 32. Maybe he has default rankings in. Maybe he has someone's default rankings in that don't.
Come on, Joan. Hurts. Come on, Joan. Yes.
Wow. Bang. All right, Jalen Hurts.
Let's do it.
So that's how you do it. Jalen Hurts. This is a grown man team, frankly. Justin Jefferson, Jonathan Taylor, Trey McBride. I guess Devonta Smith is kind of a grown man. Like, how many 170-pound jump ball wide receivers have there been?
I don't think we can
NFL
say
history?
Devonta. If Devonta Smith is a grown man, then who isn't? He's called the Slim Reaper. That's his nickname.
Khalil Shakir is not a grown man.
No, I'm telling you, if you set the bar at Devonta Smith, sorry.
How about this? Devonta Smith is not scared of a grown man. Devonta Smith can be in a room of grown men and is
yes.
So I actually weirdly I do agree with this. I don't love drafting Devonta Smith because of the spot it puts you in the room quite often, where it's like impossible to stack him. So it's basically just taking you're saying Devonta Smith gets exactly 27 points in week 17, but in a way that does not aid Jalen Hurts at all. Like it is weird to draft him. I agree.
Yeah, although here, I mean, look at this start. With Hurts, it feels great.
Yes, with Hurts, it feels great. It's just this is hard to pull off.
It's hard to pull off. Yeah. But the thing with these elite quarterbacks is that like they're expensive, and you can get high upside quarterbacks for much cheaper. Kyler Murray. Like we have Trey McBride. We could go Kyler Murray, and he could cover Hurts pretty easily. Even if Devonta Smith goes off, because Trey McBride's also going off.
Yes. Hurts never falls in my rooms, but a lot of the guys who draft in my rooms tend to be quarterback like acolytes. Like they just all summer or all winter, I guess these dudes have been telling me I'm gonna lose because I won't take elite quarterbacks. I'm fine with anyone here, really.
Judy's fine. As the wide receiver 3, like when I'm thinking about, like, can I use Judy? If I have a thinner wide receiver room, I'm more interested.
Most routes in the National Football League last year, Jerry Jeudy.
Now, Bindles has some breaking news here.
Tez Johnson is the reverse. Tez Johnson is somehow smaller than his size. Tez Johnson somehow plays smaller than 154 pounds.
Tez Johnson is now like he's been radicalized by the
Did you see his tweets? Did you see what he was saying the other day?
Yeah.
He basically was like having an existential crisis about like, what does speed even mean? What does it even mean to be fast? How would you even, you like, he's like talking about the relativity of time, basically, like, because he was not able to run a 4.3.
Not running below 4.5 has changed him as a person.
Like fundamentally, that was like a canon of it. Like, I mean, and frankly, it would probably, because he's always like Tez Johnson his whole life. He probably has been the best player on his team. Like he's been amazing. And now he just has people being like, not interested, bro.
I would love to see like his podcast queue before and after running a 4.55. That's, it's different now. He's interested in different ideas.
he's reading Inner Excellence.
I bet you he is reading Inner Excellence. It's a good call. Inner Excellence audiobook, maybe.
All right. Well, Luther Burden, right?
Luther Burden seems good.
Podium pick.
Have you drafted
Caleb Johnson. These are our two
I like
options.
Luther Burden. We could use the receiver. He's a big upside swing for us.
Let me tell you another thing I hate about taking early quarterback. The stream basically at some point just becomes why taking early quarterback is so bad. Do you know how fucking terrible our 8th and 9th round picks are going to be? We're going to be like, this is awful. The best picks are quarterbacks.
Yeah, they are.
At these next 2 picks.
They are, but it's nice to have some exposure to the non-quarterbacks in that range.
It
mix it in.
It just feels bad. It's just
a different texture, Davis. It's just
bad.
a different texture.
Jacard me up.
Jacard me up, bro.
He can't use the audiobook because the playback speed controls stressed him out. Now, I do need to make my official statement on the stream about Rondale Moore signing with the Vikings. I probably should have done an emergency live stream when he signed. No player is going to hurt my profit and loss in 2025 more than Rondale Moore. He's going to be $3,600 on DraftKings every week. He's going to have a 40% route share, but he's going to get every target Rondale Moore gets this year is going to be either behind the line of scrimmage or like 47 yards down the field. There's going to be no in between. The Vikings team total is going to be really high every week. They're going to have a minimum of nine dome
the Vikings.
games, probably more.
Vikings, what are you talking about?
Rondale
You're talking about the Houston, what he's going to do on the Houston Roughnecks, right? Vikings.
The Houston Roughnecks start next weekend, brother. It's too late. They just cut Andy Isabella.
Vikings. I'm confused.
Dude, if you're not willing to take Subterranean Field Rondale in round 20, the Battlehawks cut Isabella. Yes, they did.
Okay.
That's true. That's true. It was a scheduling conflict. He just couldn't make it work. Yeah, you see how gross this is where we're at now though? Like we're going to have to take Aaron Jones in front of everyone where everyone can see us.
Oh.
Awful.
We can't do that in public.
No. Mm-mm.
Can you turn the just pull it down. Pull the streaming down.
Look at Aronde. Look at Aronde Gadsden.
Let's look at Aronde Gadsden stats. Wow. 27. That's pretty old for a rookie.
It's gotta be Aaron Jones, right? Or Kyler. Let's just take Kyler.
Let's take Kyler.
Yeah. Yep. Double Oklahoma quarterback. We get some synergy there.
Yeah.
That was way better. Yeah.
It definitely felt better.
What?
Was it
Zach,
better? Who knows? But
it felt better. Zach,
felt better for sure.
If your hair, we do need this. We do need an Eat the Veggies video. Like when I have to make an adult pick that is not fun at all, but it's just like you have to do it structurally for the team. Like, all right, I guess we're taking Justin Herbert on this team. I guess we're taking Keenan Allen on this
like
team.
a veggie smoothie, just with the big Jacquard label.
Yeah,
just chug it down.
We're just taking. Yeah. We do need that. Yeah, Kyler was definitely the right pick there because now we can maybe even just do two quarterbacks on this team.
Maybe we have Jacquard and Hurts. We're done. We're done.
Jacquard and Hurts.
I said Jacquard.
House max on 7.5 receptions. House max on the over for Rondale Moore. 7.5 touchdowns. It's hard to say. You know what? By the way, I realized.
I don't know, Davis. I don't know if you should go house max on. I mean, maybe let's wait until he makes a team, please.
Well, it's all actions void.
No, well, you've got to specify
now.
That.
Do you want to know a very funny thing about the Vikings signing Rondale Moore? You know his best career game. Do you know who it was against?
Was it against the Vikings?
Second game of his career, 7 for 141-1. I believe it was.
Wow.
I believe it was his only ever 100-yard game.
But was that pre-O'Connell? When did O'Connell start coaching the Vikings?
The 2021 minute. That's a good question. 2021 Minnesota Vikings. Who do we think was their coach? It was probably the old guy. It was probably Zimmer.
He might have been there in 2021.
No, it was Zimmer.
Okay.
And
yeah. Now we could go with the second tight end here. Do you take much Tyler Warren? I wouldn't mind him.
I mean, just for the ADP value, I think we take Andrews, right?
Well, I just feel like Warren mixes better with the McBride. Like if
Sure.
he comes on a little slow, it's fine, and then maybe you just are crushing tight end down the stretch.
This is a weirdo team. This will be good Jacquard stuff.
Yeah, this is good.
All right. Jonathan Taylor better be good, boys. Because if Jonathan Taylor is not good, wow, he also had a 7 for 92 and 1 against Minnesota in 2022 as
dude.
well. All right, there we go.
Dude, you know what that means? That as he's going off against O'Connell's team, everyone's like, he's doing it again.
He's doing it again.
He's doing it again. Right? It's like the lore. Because the Vikings sat around their campfires and talked about Rondale Moore, you know?
I mean,
explains the signing.
To be fair, he should have always been in a dome. He's just a dome player.
Yeah.
Is there any more dome player than a 5'7" punt returner? He just does. He should never be playing on natural grass.
Yeah. Well, I mean, seriously. So what happened with the Falcons is that, because they play in a dome, obviously, but they had him on the subterranean third string practice field, which was not in the dome, and that's where he got hurt. So there's your problem. You gotta have him. Hopefully, he won't be.
The subterranean third string playing field. I mean, what the fuck was that?
He was literally like down into the earth. Like they had.
He was getting quarterbacked by Felipe Franks, who's actually a tight end.
Like it wasn't indoor. It was outside, but below the ground.
But you know what the thing is freaking Ray McLeod stinks.
I know, but he passed Rondale Moore like immediately.
What is that about though? Because that can't be merit-based.
What could that be about?
It cannot possibly be merit-based, dude. I just refuse to believe it.
Yeah, Chris asking if this is true. J Buck says it's not actually wrong.
No, it's true.
It's true, dude. I read it on Google AI. Guarantee you that it's true.
Wait, the injury happened on the Dolphins practice field?
Now I don't remember. So that's actually wrong.
I mean, all I do know is that it was. Let's take Skatebo. We need a running
Let's
back.
Do it. Let's do it.
We got to do it. Now he's buried in my rankings. After this conversation, I'm moving him back up. He's like way buried in my shit. Let me go fix that.
Oh, I think it's it might have been a Miami practice field because they were doing joint practices with Miami. But
literally lending credence to my take that he should only ever play on turf.
Well, but no, I guess you're right. Everyone would have been outside. Now, of course, it's the summer and they're probably all practicing outside. I don't think they like practice in the domes. So,
if it's subterranean, wouldn't it be indoors?
No, it was outside. But it was like you had to go. They had, because I remember like when they're trying to get him carted out, like they had to go up a bunch of stairs or something in my mind. Now maybe it's just a fever dream.
That you definitely just made up. Like 0% truth to that. The subterranean field thing came from an Athletic article. I mean, obviously, where they were talking about basically Ray McLeod literally got called up, as in called up from the subterranean practice field to play with the starters while Rondale played.
No, he was already ahead. He was already ahead of Moore. Moore was practicing with like the third stringers when he went down.
Now, I got to see if we can find a picture of this subterranean. Wow, it is literally, you could see it. It's down a hill. Let me see if I can get a good
Google AI just told me there isn't an underground field. Confirmed. There is an underground field.
Okay. Let's see if we can see it from this. So you can see this is the main facility, right?
Yep.
Then there's this area here. And then I'm assuming it just continues to go. Like this is probably the main practice field, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming there's an area somewhere down over here,
right?
Or something, or maybe they're referring to this as the subterranean area, and the main practices take place in the building.
Now, I don't know. It's a little degrading, but they may actually make the players hop over a creek. They go, just hop over that creek. And
like the Bengals have the hill.
Davis, do you have the sidekick set to Dusty? Well, why are we saying? Let's take Jordan Mason. We faded Aaron Jones, so I think Mason.
Sure.
We're gonna miss.
We
just took Jordan Love, buddy.
We just took Jordan.
You can click the sidekick.
I like literally am at a 0% success rate on doing that. I mess it up every time. So we have Jordan Love.
Great.
So why my brain just froze right there was I realized that I have the correct rankings loaded in the sidekick. but I don't have the correct rankings loaded in the draft applet.
Oh.
So I have the most recent set of rankings in the Sidekick, but I don't have the most recent rankings literally uploaded to underdog.com.
We could stack them up with Romeo Dubs, Jordan says. Now Chris was saying I thought it was dead ass directly under another field, which would be
can you imagine?
That would be something. That would be something.
Okay.
Now, like how under? Like if you jump too hard, like do you come down through your field into the other field?
Okay.
Was that what you were imagining, Chris?
So here by the way, is
double-decker field.
So there is a
field.
There is a field indoors. So here's
that's 2 levels?
No.
Okay. I want this now. That would be hilarious.
It's
and then I want it glass on the side. I want you to be able to see both games happening simultaneously.
This is the main field where they practice in the off season. And Rondale
and below
Moore
now can you zoom go below one level down so you can see the field underneath?
Well, really this is what I have to do is I got to go find the guy who wrote the original article and be like, what did you mean by that? When you said that Rondale was practicing with the third stringers down below, what did you mean by that?
Oh God.
They should play every game in a 16-story Giga Stadium. I agree. There's an elevator. You go up and down in between plays.
That does sound like a dystopian future where all 32 teams play in one facility.
Yeah.
And you can like ride the elevator up and down to see that, because it's 16 stories. So you can see all the games at once.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
That's like
2140
zone.
2140 mega red zone. Yeah. That sounds pretty good.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can find
IRL red zone. Adam says.
I am going to find this original article.
Dobbs is genuinely a good pick here.
We gotta just take Dobbs
to recover from the love.
And now we can just take a shit ton of rookie running backs. I mean, we could just load up on them.
Sounds good.
Man, this is gonna take up like my entire afternoon trying to find this athletic article that mentions the separate practice field.
Oh, Adam, every game you win, you go up a field. Every game you lose, you go down a field.
What's the ultimate prize, though? Like, what is my motivation if I'm an NFL player to get to the top or not play at the bottom?
Well, I mean, what is the motivation to win the Super Bowl, to make the playoffs? It's the same.
Okay,
right?
I think we're on to something. Outdoor game on the roof.
Now, I mean, given that this is dystopian future, you could also say these men have never seen the outdoors before, and they tell legends of reaching the roof where they can see the sun, the orb that was promised, and all of this. We could get real dystopian if you want, but we could also just say, it's a fun little game we play.
350 slow drafts on 1 hour clock. I mean, you just auto
while he was serving tables, dude, that would be so stressful.
He just auto draft. I mean, there's just no way around it.
Were you ever a waiter?
Delivery driver.
So I was a waiter for a couple years. I actually there's like, you get in the zone and it's like,
sure,
it's nice for kind of like the ADD personality where you're just like kind of hyper focusing and you have like a running tally of your tasks that you need to accomplish. Like, I'm going to go drop bread here. I'm going to go like put in this guy's order, come back. The drinks will be ready by then, then I'm going to pick up the food. So you're kind of like in this zone. But if anything kind of like distracts you, it all goes. You're like, I don't remember anything. Like, what was I? And that's how, like, then you forget. People are like, I've been waiting 20 minutes for my drink. And you're like, fuck, I forgot about the drink, right?
Yep.
So I can't imagine anything worse than being on the clock in like 150 slows while trying to wait tables. That sounds like a legitimate nightmare, like true nightmare. My God.
Imagine your waiter
luck.
drafting Rondale Moore in front of you.
That was good.
Oh, I'd leave him a huge tip.
Would you? Or would you
Yeah.
be so pissed? Yeah, okay. I would.
Me personally, now average person, so tilted. Me, I'm like, yeah, ball. Let me tell you, there is not going to be a more spectacular disaster in the history of organized professional football than Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin, man. There's just no way that Aaron Rodgers is going to jive with Steelers culture.
Yeah, man. They had the guy in the building. They had Justin Fields. They let him walk out. They blew it. You can't now. Justin Fields is far from a perfect option, but to put yourself to where you're begging Aaron Rodgers to come play for you at like 41, it's just
sad.
It's awful. How did things come to this?
Just take Jackson Dart or I mean, frankly, Tyler Shuck is a more deserving option. I think this is a great tweet from Xavier Worthy. What's up with all these hand time 40s? Every time I open my phone, I'm seeing someone run a 4.2. frankly, Xavier, I agree. Frankly, I think you might be onto something. It's not even Dart. It's not like I think Jackson Dart is like some franchise saving option. It's just that your best case scenario with Aaron Rodgers is what just happened to you. You had a veteran quarterback who played good enough to get you to the playoffs, and then you got beat by a real team playing real football.
Yeah, it's exactly right. It's exactly right.
Yeah, you know what? They'd be a good Milrow team because all they want to do is run the ball anyway. You take Milrow and Will Howard. You take them both, and you draft Damian Martinez, and you say no one is gonna run the ball more aggressively than us. I think RJ Harvey's more fun on this team.
Okay, Wicks is also a totally viable pick for double stacking the love.
Let's do Wicks because all the running backs are like the same.
Yeah.
So now we have all of our quarterbacks stacked. This is a mean one. This will be a mean one if it gets through. I mean, I don't think it will, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be how I built it, but I like how we saved it, getting Dobbs and Wicks. Now, Poopo Frap says, I was just trying to get my beer, but my waiter wouldn't stop talking about Rondale's Gyarados evolution this season. Now, this to me, I like this comment, but this feels more like a barber. More like, you're trapped, more a situation where like you're straight up trapped in the chair. You can't get out. Like that's where I like you can get in some, I prefer in those situations, please, to any future barbers out there. Silence is fine.
Silence is golden.
It's golden, man. It's golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Didn't even bat an eye at Wicks at the top of the queue. Of all the things that I got wrong last year, Wicks is by far the most annoying because if he would have just been serious, if he could have just taken the game of football seriously, he had like a 202 point season on the table and he just fucked it.
He dropped it. Like he literally just dropped it. It was there. It was open.
He had a 25% drop rate.
That's unbelievable.
You know what the fuck? It's just
that's unbelievable.
Bad. It's like one of the worst drop rate seasons. I looked this up on PFF at some point. It's like one of the worst drop rate seasons of a guy with over 50 targets, like of all time.
That's crazy.
Daniel Flick of Sports Illustrated was the guy who wrote the Rondale Subterranean.
Can you pull up? Can you send the link? I want to see like how different it is from what I then imagined later in my mind.
Yeah. No, I agree. Io Manor, Ollie Gordon, Ray Davis, Braylon Allen, Elijah Mitchell.
This is kind of a value on Ray Davis, right? I don't mind it.
Yeah, it is.
Io Manor is also a good pick here, but he goes later.
He goes. Yeah. We already have a rookie. Yeah, let's do Ray Davis. Ray Davis is just a good pick.
Yeah. He's been sitting at the top of the sidekick here for a couple of rounds. I think, good value.
All right, August 1st, 2024. Meet Rondale Moore, Atlanta Falcons wide receiver, starting to heat up in training camp. Atlanta Falcons receiver Rondale Moore has made a strong impression on head coach Raheem Morris. So probably after this.
He says he put the article in the Discord.
All right, it's in the Discord. Let's see if we can find it.
Oh,
okay,
being
here
in the
it is.
Dentist chair, by the way. Sorry, go ahead. I want to get back to this.
No, you go first. You do this bit.
Well, being in the dentist chair is the ultimate, like, you are straight up trapped because you can't even talk back. You can't direct the conversation. They ask you questions. I don't know why they're asking. Do they like hearing? Like, what's the point? Don't ask me. You're monologuing. Everyone knows you're monologuing. What it would be like me asking the chat right now, like, what do you think, chat? Like, I'm monologuing. That's what's happening. You go here. I will bring in the chat though, because we got a good comment here. I learned never to mention what I do at the barber, lest I spend a whole haircut evaluating my barber's parlays.
Yeah,
that's pretty rough. But the dentist is the peak. Oh God, I'm trapped. This person is going to talk at me for as long as they see fit.
So, Josh, this article mentions that they worked with the third and fourth string players during team drills, but it's not the exact reference of the field.
Oh, it's the second one. He said it. He sent it. It's the next link.
Okay. I gotta find the Rondale Moore bit. This is some great several note. Okay, yep, this is it. Here's the deal. I'm going to freaking open this up and it's the whole page is just going to be ads. And it's going to slow the stream down. Several notables. Rondale Moore acquired via trade in exchange for Desmond Ridder, served as a slot wide receiver, catching passes from rookie signal callers. But it doesn't mention the subterranean field, though.
Yeah, where's the field?
The thing is I just did not make this up. I'm not even smart enough to make something up that funny. I'm gonna keep digging. Keep digging.
So Jordan's saying dentist questions is a real thing. They call them dentist questions, and they teach you to do it because it's supposed to be intentionally distracting.
Because you're thinking about your answer,
or you're thinking, "Shut up." But I guess you're
thinking something. No, you're not thinking about them pulling your mouth apart.
But I like that having someone in your mouth is so uncomfortable that just making someone socially uncomfortable is a thing they teach you to do.
Yeah. This is a Damian Martinez team.
Damian Martinez is a great pick here.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. It does say the lower of the two fields. So that's where it came from.
Subterranean.
So I
had to jump over a creek. It's all in there.
I took the lower of the two fields to then basically become Rondale Moore spent the entirety of Falcons training camp last year, basically in a dungeon.
I took it to mean you had to go winding down the stairs. Did anyone see The Gorge on Apple TV? It's kind of like that. You had to parachute down into the gorge.
The Gorge good?
The Gorge is real dumb. It's one of the dumber movies you'll see. The Gorge feels like watching someone play a video game. You're kind of watching someone once it gets going. It's also a romantic comedy. It was released on Valentine's Day. It's real weird. It's a weird movie. If you're bored and high, it's not a bad watch. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been so I just watched Twin Peaks, which, by the way, if you've never seen it, it's literally I'm a total convert. Greatest show of all time.
No, I'm calling it a crick. Yeah.
What's so funny is you're not from the Midwest. So how did you start calling things a crick?
I just thought it'd be funny if I said crick.
Kerrane, I say crick, and like my wife like makes fun of me.
You if you're telling someone go hop over, you'd say the crick, right? Go hop over that crick. A crick,
Yeah.
a crick to me is someone who's very familiar with a creek. Like a creek is the correct word.
Oh,
but
you're saying it implies familiarity.
It implies familiarity. Like the crick down there, you've grown up near a creek if you call it a crick.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
baby, Harold Fannin, come on down.
Yeah, like oh, let's go down to the crick and catch some tadpoles or
right.
Yeah. Crick is totally rancher parlance.
It's southern slang too, I think.
My dad said crick, so I just say crick. But
I had a small creek in our backyard, but I did say creek. I never called it the crick, but I'm familiar with the term crick.
Justin is where you are from, like western or eastern New York.
No, I'm from Delaware. That's an entirely different part of the country. That's like
Kerrane, you saying that's an entirely different part of the country? Like for me, like a 400-mile drive is like I just would do that on a Tuesday. When you're from the Midwest, like the distances that you have in your head being from the East.
Do you think like Toronto and Baltimore are near each other? Because it's not that
geographically to me, yes. Now culturally, obviously not. But geographically, like that is like what? Like
culturally, they're very different. What do you mean?
That's
Toronto
what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But geographically, that is like a 7-hour drive.
Yeah.
7-hour drive, dude. I mean, that's how far I live away from my hometown now.
Delaware just gets like lumped in sometimes with New England, and it's not.
No, that's different. That's different.
Delaware and Rhode Island get confused because they're both small.
See, Rhode Island has been big benefactor of Family Guy, so people kind of know Rhode Island culture now.
Yeah,
just
people know
shitty.
Rhode Island.
It's just shitty Boston.
Yeah.
Rhode Island is just worse Massachusetts.
That's fine because we're starting from a really high point.
It is true that that Midwest life is just different. It's like its own thing. And there are even Brady is a Delawarean now, and he can confirm it is very different. They're probably not making another cheapo contest, I would guess. I think I think they're having some internal conversations about what to do with contest sizing right now without New York. I think we're going to see smaller contests. They probably just overnight lost 25% of their drafters. I would guess 25% may be high, 15% maybe. A lot of drafters though.
What I would suggest is let's Google Dontavian Wicks's actual drop rate. And then whatever that is probably in line with the percentage of drafters they'll lose. Both start at 25%, but it might be somewhat smaller than that.
Give me a wide receiver.
Let's not use Google AI, though. Yeah, Besh, I'm down.
Yeah, good pick. Good pick, Jack Besh. He could be a Packer. Jack Besh actually is a very likely Packer, I feel like.
That does seem kind of Packery for sure.
He's like a good wide receiver prospect, but not a great one. So he's just another wide receiver too. 18.6% in the. Oh, I'd use Google AI. Jesus, all right, that's on me. That's on me.
Google AI.
19%.
Did Google AI get it right then? No. It's a rounding error.
19. But the funniest thing is that they're all Packers. 19% Wicks. Then Al Lazard for the Jets was 19%. Jaden Reed was 15.9, and MVS was 15.8. Those were the 4 leading droppers in the National
hilarious.
Football
It's
League.
an MVS. Oh, they're all Packers.
They're all Packers. Yeah. No, Higgins is, I think, too good. I think Higgins is actually too good of a prospect to be a round 2 Packer, and I don't know if he meets all of their thresholds. Right?
I think he does. No, I think he would meet all their thresholds. He had a good combine.
I feel like he's too tall, though. They normally don't do the 6'2" guys.
Well, Christian Watson was 6.
I guess you're. You know what? You're right. You're right.
Jordy Nelson was tall, not like crazy tall, but
yeah. Frankly, Higgins is probably too good. Too much production. You're right.
Too much production. Yeah.
The Packers just got what. This is funny. What will the trade compensation to the Packers be for trading McCole Hardman back to the Chiefs in Week 7?
It's one of those ones where like it's going to be like a fourth, but then we're going to find out that the Chiefs gave 2/5.
Yeah.
So you're like, wait, did the Chiefs actually give more than they got?
The Chiefs? Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Can we get back to Brady here? About did you move to Delaware recently?
You moved to Delaware, Brady?
For what purpose? I'm just curious. As someone from Delaware, I would just be curious what brought you there.
I think we answered this already. We think Giddens and Harvey are both too cheap.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think they are like for sure too cheap.
Yeah. Probably like by like multiple rounds.
By multiple rounds. Those are the two guys. I would say those two guys and Martinez. Shipley's kind of a smash.
I think he literally just went. Oh no, he didn't.
Yeah,
Bang.
Yeah.
Why is Raheem Mostert up to the running back 68? Are people just so thirsty for news? Is it just literally like a news thing happens and like, all right, you got to adjust the rankings, not ironically?
I have no idea why. Okay, Brady said, my wife is from Delaware, went to St. Mark's. I'm originally from, that's where I went, by the way. I'm originally from Pittsburgh, and Crick is all it is, never Creek. Okay. I mean, Delaware's a nice place. So there's some, first of all, no sales tax. That's nice.
That's actually crazy that there's no sales tax in a big lib state. That's insane.
Yeah. Delaware, the funny thing about Delaware is it's like an extremely corporate friendly state. Like, you know, people incorporate in Delaware. There's the laws are very friendly to corporations. So, yeah, I don't know. It's not, because elect Democrats, you know, nationally.
Some people on the Eastern Seaboard are actually like of the overly educated, because you have two types of overly educated people in America. You've got left-wing, overeducated people who are, you know, vote blue no matter who. But then you also have think tank, right-wing, overeducated people on the Eastern Seaboard. And if a state is small enough, then anything can happen.
What Delaware is it's a highly educated state. It's got money because like the DuPonts and all the, you know, Gore and all this. So there's money in the state, but it's also got like a farming kind of beach southern element thing going on. The Daily Show did a funny thing back in like 2007, maybe it was 2009, 2010. Talking about like how Delaware is like a microcosm for the entire country, which it kind of is, but it's also like a hilarious kind of like it, you know, like the North has like 2 universities and the South only has 1. The North has like 3 museums and the South only has 2. You know, it's kind of ridiculous, but there is that dynamic to it where the southern part of the state is very conservative, like Washington Commanders fans. You know, the North they're all Eagles fans. It's like it's part.
I was going to say what is there's no the Hartford Whalers were there, but there's no professional sports teams in Delaware.
No, but it's
Hartford's
in the North it's Eagles, but in the South it's generally Commanders or maybe Ravens, but it's not really Eagles so much. Yeah, it's a weird little state, but you know, it's great little weird state.
All right, Kerrane, our final wide receiver, Hoomst.
Well, so I
mean, frankly, I think we got to take Rondale.
Okay, all right. Low property taxes as well. Population in Rehoboth, Fenwick, and
no underdog in Delaware. But I mean, what are you, 15 minutes from a border at any given point in the state?
Yeah. No, I mean, like literally, like where I grew up, I was about 3-minute drive away from Pennsylvania and a 4-minute drive away from Maryland. Yeah. It was wild.
Yeah, so you could just then both of those states have UDC, you'd be fine. I would move to Delaware if you would give me the equivalent of the money to Max Best Ball Mania for the rest of my life, I think. You probably can't golf very much during the year in Delaware.
No, there's
Probably-
plenty of golf, of course. What do you mean?
But you probably only get about 7 months. You can't golf in October in Delaware, I'm thinking.
Yes, you can. Again,
Okay.
Delaware's not New England. Think Maryland. Think DC.
Yeah, I would still think you can't really golf in October in
I mean,
Maryland.
yeah, October's pretty good. October's now you're gonna have some cold days in October, but
Okay, Brady says I can't. Now, Brady, how are you ripping drafts if you can't play Underdog in Delaware?
Brady just outed himself for having a VPN. This account just got shut down.
All right, country club member, he plays 10 months out of the year. All right, so basically
It's in PA. Oh, it's in, of course, because
Delaware is so
Delaware's
small.
too small to actually have its own golf course. The reason you can play in October in Delaware is because you can leave the
Because you could just go to Pennsylvania.
or you can play golf.
Oh, that the Delaware Country Club being in Pennsylvania is a great bit. Delaware is just a state doing bits, basically.
Delaware is a state doing bits. Yes.
How
Yes.
many square miles? How many square miles is Delaware?
Oh God.
Kerrane, guess. How many square miles is Delaware?
I'm terrible with square miles. I don't know. It's like a fourth of a Maryland. It's like 2 Rhode Islands, maybe.
Okay. So I'm going to contextualize it this way. Oklahoma City, huge city,
Maybe a
biggest
third
city,
of a Maryland.
biggest
Go ahead,
city
sorry.
by landmass in the United States, Oklahoma City. And I grew up going there a lot because my grandparents lived there. Oklahoma City is 620 square miles.
Okay.
Delaware is 2,400 square miles. So Delaware is basically 2.5 Oklahoma cities.
Wait. You said 64. Say the numbers again.
Oklahoma City is 620 square miles.
Okay. And Delaware's 1,200?
2,400.
Oh, 2,400. Well, then that's 4.
Sure, 4, whatever. Still, that is laughably small.
I just that's 4.
The chat's pointing out.
That's 4. That's just 4. It's like exactly 4.
It's close enough. 2.5, 4.
What's
What's really the
happening?
difference? What's the difference? Yeah, Phoenix is also another one of these that's big. Phoenix is massive. All right, man. You want to do another one or you want to get out of here? I don't care.
What time is it? I probably do one more.
Okay. Done. Man, I'm running out of bullets, bro. I am gonna have to try and get. I don't think Pete is I think Pete, I have a suspicion he might have been a little bit cooler as a youth. I bet he never played Pokemon.
I think Pete played Pokemon. I don't
Do
think
we
that
think Pete played Pokemon?
Here's the thing. I'm not setting the bar at like Pete had the system and played it all the time. I'm setting it like Pete was hanging out, like Pokemon was played. He hopped on, played some Pokemon, passed the Game Boy around kind of situation. That's where I think Pete played Pokemon.
What I'm wondering is, could Pete, if we were like Pete, could you give us an explanation, could you explain an evolution of any Pokemon?
Yes, I think he could.
If we were like
I think he
Pete,
could.
Pete, just what you for $100, just name the evolution of one Pokemon.
Yeah, Cody's saying only uncool people play Pokemon. I don't think so. I think Pokemon kind of had it reached like the larger.
Pokemon was universal at a certain time.
Yeah, I think Pete must have played it.
It's definitely not now. It's not universal now, but like everyone played Pokemon Red, Yellow, Blue.
Right. Now, ask him if Gyarados is a dragon type. I don't think he would know the answer to that. But I didn't know that.
Yes. Yeah. All the cool kids did. Yeah, they had the little link. You could battle against each other. This was like before Bluetooth was popular.
Yeah. Now, do you think he would know the main character's name?
Ash Ketchum? No chance.
He wouldn't know. I see. I don't think I knew his last name was Ketchum, but Ash. I would accept it.
Gotta catch them all.
But his name's Ketchum?
With a K.
It's a pun?
Yeah.
The whole thing's a pun. Got to catch them all? I hate that.
Yeah.
I thought it was just you
Well, what
literally
came-
are
what-
catching
what
it. We don't
came-
need his name
what-
to be Ketchum.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
I think his name became Ketchum because of the Catch 'em all.
Yeah.
Yeah. That Chuck, man, he loved puns.
He loved puns. I do see similarities between Lamb this year and Chase last year. Lamb could, if Dak stays healthy and the Cowboys are like relatively competent. I mean, he could. What's the record for receptions in one season? What do you think? What do you think the record is? Yeah, you ever
150?
Wow, shockingly good. 149. Do you know who the holder is?
Look at me.
Do you know who the holder is?
Oh.
It's the funny. I'll tell you this. It is the funniest possible person to have broken it. No one.
It's not Jerry Rice.
It's not Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice is not even in the top 10. I don't think.
Wow.
Jerry Rice best receptions in a season 122 or Wes Welker's third best season.
Julian Edelman
changed. Julian Edelman would maybe be the funniest. Michael Thomas 140.
Oh, that makes a ton of sense. Yeah, no.
Slant boy.
Got that.
Basically, I think in a perfect confluence. I'm not saying this is even the most likely thing, but CeeDee Lamb could break that record.
Yeah, I think maybe he could. He's got some slants in him for sure.
This is a good question. Is Michael Thomas still in the pool? Almost for sure he is. Yeah.
Well, he's still on the Saints payroll.
Yeah, he's still on. Well, I mean, he's going to be on the Saints payroll like in the next lifetime.
All right, let me ask you this. Oh my God, Spot Track, making me pay premium to see Michael Thomas's contract details isn't it? That's not how you get me.
You got to do over the cap.
It's not how you get me, Spot Track.
Here, I got it.
Wait, don't pull it up because I want to.
Okay, it's gone.
I want to ask you.
I thought the same thing. 149 is not even 10 a game. Also, yeah, everyone is on the Saints payroll. That is true.
So his contracts. Where do I see the dead cap on over the cap? Because what cracked me up is there's dead cap that runs into like 2026 or something.
I only see the dead money history.
Yeah. Well, to see the rest of Michael Thomas's contract breakdowns and gain access to all of SpotTrack's premium tools, sign up today.
You want to know like a funny thing is that there's like a Shams Woj thing that exists with Over the Cap and SpotTrack.
Yeah,
what they beef with each other. I don't know the specifics.
Okay.
But it does, like the guy.
I've gotten that vibe. I don't know anything about it, but
Lad.
Yeah, Lad's good.
It has to be running back. Running back just puts you in such jail.
Yeah.
But I know that Jason is the one who runs Over the Cap, and then I don't know the guy who runs SpotTrack. But basically, like someone will, like SpotTrack will have something that's not accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Over the Hook guy will be like, or Over the Cap guy will be like, yeah, classic idiot. You didn't know about those. You didn't know about those void years. I bet you didn't, bro.
Bet you don't even know when the league year starts.
Post June 1st. Yeah, right.
Give me a break.
Anyway, point being,
yeah,
I definitely think CD could have like just a crazy. So like if they do what we did yesterday in the mock draft, where they take Golden. Like, not a guy who, like, you know how people said about Henry Ruggs and stuff, guys like that when they get drafted, like, oh, they're better for their real NFL team than they are for fantasy. That's like actually would be unironically true for the Cowboys because it would just be like CD could just eat.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that's true. I mean, there's something to that, you know. You get the guy who can draw coverage on the outside and help open things up.
I do want this on the record. My brackets are smashing, and I did not lose a single team in Survivor yesterday. I've got like 10 survivors going with multiple picks. I did not lose a game. Although I am gonna out myself. I am gonna out myself on the stream. This is one of the funniest things ever. I can't even believe I'm gonna share this, but it is very funny. That is a perfect that is a perfect 0 for 8.
Oh no.
I mean, that's very hard to do. The 0 for 8 is pretty hard to do,
Yeah,
man.
it's honestly hard to do. Reverse tail would be a fucking smash. That's impressive.
I was pretty proud of that.
Oh my god.
It's pretty difficult.
That's pretty good. At that point, you want the 0 for 8. Like once you get
for sure. I mean, how like to go 2 for 8, you're like, well, I just suck.
Yeah. Directionally inaccurate.
Directionally inaccurate.
Yeah. Not I mean, just straight up, you smashed it. Inaccurately smashed it.
I don't care. Worthy's
fine. I'm down.
Yeah. Marvin Harrison, because right now our only quarterback is Herbert.
Yeah, I'd be down.
Let's do Marvin Harrison.
I like Harrison.
Because what's going to end up happening is I'm going to have 37% of Xavier Worthy, and yes,
right.
also, this I did lose a team in the Swolies Calcutta though. I lost. I think I bought Georgia in the Swolies Calcutta.
I'm not really. So I'm a UNC fan, and I didn't pay much attention.
I bought them for $20.
Nice. Okay. Then I gathered there was like extreme anger that they made the tournament, and that Duke are like the favorites to win the tournament. I hate Duke, obviously.
Yeah. So
I just don't think this is going to be the tournament that I want to care about. So I'm kind of checked out on it.
The thing is that a lot of the sharps are actually like UNC because it's basically the ultimate, like, yeah, they didn't try very hard and they kind of suck, but like they've got like 5 NBA quality players on the roster. So like they might just they're not going to win the whole thing, but they might put like 4 hot games together or whatever.
Nice. All right.
My plan for after I've maxed the big board and it's still before Best Ball Mania is I'd love to know. I got no clue. That's why I slowed down doing them the last 2 weeks. Is I was like, okay, I'll do some dingers, I'll do some hoops. And the thing about that is it's fun and it's fun to hang out, but like those videos are getting like 700 views or whatever. Like they're just getting like the quarter of a view of. So I got to figure something out. I don't know. Maybe we'll do. I don't know. We'll do some dynasty stuff, whatever. We'll figure it out. I've got a rookie draft that starts very soon. The Scott Barrett League.
Nice.
Yeah.
Pre-draft rookie drafts are fun.
Yeah. They're not that fun because so they are very fun. And I actually in this specific league, I've like got the way best of it. I traded the 101, the Malik Willis year for AJ Brown, and the 101 drafter took Malik Willis. But like you do get some examples of like, oh, like I just wasted that. I just nuked that second round pick.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to be like a little safer with your moves, because if the draft capital doesn't material, like you're like, Willis is the 101, which I think I was on board with at that point, which was obviously a huge mistake.
Yes.
Was it was too risky because the second he doesn't, and at the time it wasn't clear like where he was going to go, but it's like, I'll go first round somewhere. If you're going to take a quarterback, you would really like them to be like in the discussion for 101 or locked into a top 5 pick, that kind of thing.
Yes. I actually have never played rookies and sophomores before.
It's usually after the draft, right?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know. No, you're right. I think it may be before the draft. Yeah.
Sacrilegious won it 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, you can legitimately evaporate a year's worth of picks pretty easily. I have in this specific draft I was just talking about, I have 4 firsts and the 201. But like with this draft class, like I kind of just want to get rid of them. I kind of want to just be like I just traded the 205 for Travis Kelce. I have a really good team. Like
Okay. Yeah.
let's do something different this time. We took Devonta last time. Let's do something different.
We could do Hampton.
Could you have what? First time. Why don't we do Rome?
Okay. Yeah.
Give ourselves another quarterback. Just to there's your card tree.
Sure.
Because you know what I have a lot of? I have a lot of Xavier Worthy immediately followed by Rome Adunze, so it's good to do it with Marv. Bindles. Salute. Guys, if you're actually, while I'm talking about Dynasty, if you want in a Dynasty League, Bindles has a Discord with like find a league stuff and like orphans available. So if you're looking for, and I get questions about that, like how do I find a Dynasty League? I would do that. Yeah, the 205 for Travis Kelce, super flex, tight end. But so in Kerrane, in the leagues you and I play in, I would not do that. The best ball ones, but this is you have to do start sits.
Right.
So you can't just have like in the leagues that you and I play in, the best ball ones, people just have like 8 tight ends, none of them any good, and it just kind of all comes out in the wash. But in the like, if you have Mike Gesicki, Evan Ingram, and Harold Fannin, you actually don't have a tight end.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get that start sit right once in the court. You're not gonna get it right one time. Like seriously, yeah. Mike Gesicki, Evan Ingram, Harold Fannin Jr. Those are your tight ends. How many times in a year you think you get that right?
A couple times. I mean, you just what I would probably do is just throw Gesicki in repeatedly. Also, Gesicki, if Higgins misses, somewhat predictable.
You'll get it right. You'll get it right whenever T. Higgins is out.
Whenever T. Higgins is out, you'll get it right. Other than that, 100%.
What is, by the way, have you seen this craziness with his contract?
Yeah, it's like
it's
a
like
terrible contract.
It's like very team. If they were going to offer him something that favorable to their side, why did it take 2 years to work out? Like if it was going to be one of the things where he clearly gave up a ton of concessions, it just feels like it could have been signed years ago.
I know. I don't get it.
I was legitimately like, I like kind of thought it was like a fake news thing that was being passed around, but it's apparently very, wow. So we almost took Tet with our last pick.
Tet is great in the
Tet,
5th.
round 5. The Tet slide is, I wonder, do we have someone who's running back hungry here?
I do think
early Cortland Sutton, early Chris Godwin is how we got him.
There's definitely something, like if a guy is considered like a top 10 pick and then it's actually like maybe more he's like a pick in the 20s, there's something to, that guy maybe sliding a little bit. But if Tet is good, he's going to earn a bunch of targets. And he could end up, if he falls, like what I'm most worried about is that he goes to like the Saints at 9, So you tell me he could go to the Cowboys or... he could go to the Broncos.
They saw our mock draft and they're done taking him. They saw our mock draft and they're like, all right, we're over it.
Yeah. There's some good landing spots, so he falls a little bit. And it's like, do we care afterwards? If he's the Broncos, if he's on the Broncos, if Sean Payton's like basically talking about him like he's Michael Thomas again, are we nervous that he fell a little, that he was at 20? I don't think we're nervous at all. So no. I like this slide a lot.
I like this. Bring people on and just be like, what's your plan for Best Ball Mania? I should probably even do that. I shouldn't do that as a stream. I should do that as a video. That's a good idea. Next time Kerrane buys a San Diego burrito, please think of Tyler's ass.
There's a lot there. Please think of my ass is kind of like, maybe, but it's Tyler, so he's specifically talking about his ass, and then it's a burrito.
Do you get San Diego burritos often?
I don't really do burritos too much, mostly because they remind me of Tyler's ass.
Well, you're from Delaware, dude. They didn't have burritos there.
That's true. Yeah, the burritos. I'm more of a tacos guy. I like the taco.
Oh, they have really good. A carne asada taco on a corn tortilla, fresh. I mean, you're just not beating that.
Yeah, fish tacos out here are delicious. Big fish tacos guy.
I am not a big fish
Tyler,
eater.
do something with that. What are you gonna do?
Do something with that, Tyler.
Do something with that.
The first Delaware burrito was the Declaration of Independence. That's not quite landing for me.
Doesn't quite work for me. Yeah.
Mm-mm. I would take Ken Walker.
We were the first to sign. Delaware.
Yeah, the first
Declaration of Independence. Very patriotic state.
Yeah, so you probably don't eat Chipotle.
I don't. I feel like you don't. You know, if you're in a place that's
like known for burritos.
Yeah, you could go. Why go to? You know, I don't know. If you're in the hamburger capital of the world, would you frequent McDonald's a bunch, or would you go somewhere better?
So my argument has always been I don't go to Chipotle when I want Mexican food. Like if I want Mexican food, I'll either make it or go get it Mexican food.
Mm-hmm.
When I want Chipotle, I just want Chipotle. Like it's Mexican inspired.
Right.
I think we got to take Ken Walker here. This is like a nice fall. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like basically when I go to Chipotle, all I really want is some meat and some vegetables and some rice. Like I just want to eat it. What I want is I don't want to cook, but I don't want to feel like garbage when I get done eating. Is basically the logic there.
So it's a classic that's fair situation.
Tet only lets his physical ed teacher hand time him. You know, frankly, people are saying this more and more.
Now, you're a big fan of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes famously kind of gets dogged for his voice. Tet, there was some fear in the streets.
I've not heard his voice.
So you might be able to pull it up. There's like a video where I probably get to the link because I got tagged in it. After he ran the 40, he's like cheering and like kind of, going off about running his time, which was, depending on who you looked at, in the 4.3s. But you're a little bit surprised watching the video about his voice. His voice is a little different. It's not crazy, but it's a little, squeakier than I was thinking it would be.
Gifted Membies only for Delawareans. Please self-report. Brady, did you send this from the golf course right now? By the way, this is just a funny thing. I've reached this time in my life. People complain about golf being expensive, and it is. Like, golf is expensive. But a great way to cut down on the cost is to just go early in the morning. Like, I have a tee time booked at 7:16 a.m. on Sunday morning, but that's just like a normal time for me to be alive. Like, I'm just existing at that time anyway, so it's a sacrifice for other people. I mean, I'm saving 30% on green fees going at a time that's more convenient for me anyway.
At a certain point for us to stream together, I'm going to have to move to Europe.
Yeah,
just to get on.
Dude, we'd be locked in. We'd be on the same schedule more or less. If you live 6 hours of time zones away from me, we would probably be sleeping. We'd probably be sleeping at the same hours, Pat. If you live 6 time zones, if you live 6 hours away. I literally don't. My eyes are not as shut at 8:30, but I'm mostly in my bed by 8:30 p.m. Central Time.
Wow.
Burden, Golden, Igbuka.
Burden's
Tracy.
good. I'm good. I'm good with any of these guys.
I don't love. Back to back. Another two rookie teams. I don't think Walker and Charbonnet can both be good. No chance.
I do worry about the Seahawks like bottoming out this year, which makes Walker a little bit less of a target. But when you're getting him in the 6th round as the lead running back on a team that wants to establish it more, that feels pretty good. He feels like a little bit like Mixon, a little bit James Conner from last year, where we're just like, he's boring now, and he could pay off. This feels tilted to the upside, even though there's still a lot of downside from here. The bet feels tilted to the upside to me in the 6th round.
Yeah, I think I think the issue is they're both kind of volume lords.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And the presence and impact of the other, if the coaching staff decides like you're both volume lords, so we'll just let you split it. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that. You like the worst thing is Charbonnet plays 37% and Walker plays the remainders, and they kind of split the goal line work. Then you're just like, all right, well, you know, if you have two Seahawks running backs, you have none.
Yeah, the nice thing about Walker is that he isn't necessarily a volume lord. He can rip off some long runs, but he's not so explosive. Like, you know, and at this price, kind of everyone needs to be a volume lord. You know, everyone needs volume at a $6 price.
Not when Walker used to score long touchdowns. He hit no homers last year.
The comment Cody says they got to get some linemen, and I completely agree.
Yeah.
I mean, the interior of the line was really bad last year, but they had Geno Smith who was mitigating that with getting the ball out really quickly and accurately, and now they have Darnold, and Darnold's like he's the I'm seeing ghosts guy. Like you got to protect him, man. You got to really protect him. We saw it the Vikings last year when you don't protect Darnold, it can melt down quick. So the Seahawks do scare me. You think about teams that could crater this year, they're definitely pretty high on the list.
Their crater risk is high, but they also just have like good players. Like just like a bunch of competent.
We decided the Rams were going to crater one year, you know, and then they were totally fine.
Sharps is not better. Sharps is not better than Walker. He's more well-rounded. Do you want Kyler with Marv or Caleb with Rome?
I think Kyler with Marv.
Yeah, I agree. And we might get Rome coming back because there's not a bear in between us, I don't believe.
Let me ask you about Burden versus Golden, because the NFL at first, right? Burden, he's kind of in the conversation for wide receiver 1 in the class. Now Golden is the one who not as only in the conversation, but might be the wide receiver 1 when we look at who gets drafted first in this class, right? So now, if you look at things like breakout and
yards,
production,
touchdowns, things like being a good football player, then Burden is definitely better at that. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, how much do we like? We just took second round Luther Burden over like 12 to the Cowboys Matthew Golden potentially. Is that bad? And I'm honestly asking because I'm like, I agree. Like Burden's a much better prospect, all the things we look at, but at some point Golden's draft capital is going to win out. Like if the gap is as big as it might be, like Burden goes like 40th and Golden goes 12th.
Yeah.
Golden's going to go first in Best Ball Mania.
Yes. But the thing is, it's hard for me personally because I'm just very partial to Luther Burden and guys of his ilk. It's just very, and I'm also partial to Golden. I'm partial of the uber athletic guy who played at Texas with a shitty quarterback. Also, probably one of my biggest things that I've actually been most right about relative to the field over the time in fantasy football and in Dynasty is properly valuing guys who play with really good college teammates and just not caring if they weren't that productive, you know? Like,
well, that would be Golden.
Pickens a great example of this. I was a huge Pickens guy. He played at Georgia with like only like 9 stars. He just like only played with elite players. I'm going to take Caleb. Jatavian Sanders, Jordan Whittington. I was drafting Jordan Whittington really early last year. And that, I mean, he had 2.02 yards per out run, so pretty good. But basically being like, dude, I don't give a shit that Whittington never broke out. Because what do you want him to do? You want him to break out over 5 fucking guys who got first round draft capital? Even when, I wonder your thought on this. This doesn't even really relate here. But when a guy plays with a first round or second round running back, I feel like that matters to some degree just because it tilts some of the team's total
offense.
It just tilts the whole offense away from the wide receivers. Like I value that. Like these Texas guys, the 2 years ago, the Texas wide receivers had to compete against a backfield of Bijan, Roschon, and Jonathan Brooks. You know, it's like those guys are just going to get the ball in 60% of the team's plays. You know?
Yeah.
So then that cuts down the sample of passing plays. Like that's the other thing. If you want to think about like sampling errors, like, oh, this guy only had 19% of the team's production. What's like,
But it's a small
okay,
sample of
but
production because they didn't pass a lot.
It's 412 dropbacks.
Yeah.
So what if they run those dropbacks over again? You know.
You also have to be careful the other way. Remember, Stephen Hill had like 40% of
Georgia Tech
because they didn't pass, and we were like, doesn't matter because Calvin Johnson and Demaryius Thomas went here.
Literally,
thing.
The most pattern matching shit ever.
Yeah, and then it turns out those guys are superstars, and he sucked. Yeah.
What if Stephen Hill only sucked because he was a Jet? He
also had knee issues. He dealt with knee issues. I think he wasn't very good though.
Yeah, he probably wasn't very good. He probably wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, I think the answer is
teammates...
Golden. Golden is going to go way ahead of Burden in Best Ball Mania
BBM.
6. I've taken more Golden than Burden in this tournament. I will almost for sure have more Burden than Golden the next go round. What do you want to do here?
I don't mind the Herbert triple up.
Do we have? Oh yeah. Yeah, let's just do it. Whatever. We're done at quarterback. That's nice. 3 quarterbacks in a row. I basically have never done that again. Or I've never done that in a draft.
3 quarterbacks in the window. I mean, it's tried and true. Sean Siegel approved. 3 quarterbacks in the window is a good strategy.
JJ McCarthy conversation. Yeah, well, show me Roman Wilson. Give me Roman Wilson. I need to see Roman Wilson on an NFL field before I can make any distinctions.
Well, I think for me, I want the teammate stuff like where I really pay attention because I was pretty, Brian Thomas, I was pretty in on last year. I thought he was boom bust, but I'm like, there's ceiling here because Malik Neighbors is a superstar prospect and Brian Thomas is still going to go in the first round. Like that says a lot, That's the DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. That's the Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry. Like when you get these guys that, were both productive, even if one was significantly more productive, but then there's like draft capital associated with both guys. That's, to me, there's a lot of signal. There's even stuff with, DeAndre Hopkins overlapped with Sammy Watkins, so you're
yeah. I remember. And another guy too, who let me see if I can
who
find
else was at Clemson, but there's, I think there's definitely something to that where you have like the really, really high end talent is going to, of course it's going to impact like
Adam Humphries and Martavis Bryant.
Oh, or Martavis Bryant. That is who it was. Yeah. But like, if you think about like what would Brian Thomas's role look like in the NFL, if Malik Neighbors joined the team, like it would change, it would totally change, so when you get to that level of talent, I think it matters. My concern with Golden is that I don't think Isaiah Bond clears that threshold.
I was ready to make that argument for Isaiah Bond, and then he ran a 4.42 or whatever.
Right. And Golden, he wasn't there last year. It's not like he wasn't being blocked by A.D. Mitchell or Xavier Worthy. He was in Houston. So he only had 1 year in the Texas program, and he didn't dust Isaiah Bond. Now, by the end of the year, he's their go-to wide receiver, which you like to see, but
scored the game-winning touchdown in overtime against Arizona State.
Yeah.
I know you're actually asking and not trolling. Literally, the thing is also the other thing is Igbuka's not an early declare. That is like, for me in Ohio State, non-early declare, big red flag. But also, I just don't really like Igbuka.
Because he fits this argument for me. I do like Igbuka. I don't love him, but I like him, and I'm not going to fade him. I think so one of the things that I've kind of learned with Dynasty and stuff is like when you look at a guy at wide receiver who's going to have good draft capital, and you're like, he's safe, but he's not high ceiling. Just take him. Just take him.
Yeah.
You're telling me that a guy with draft capital at wide receiver is safe? Therefore, he does have ceiling. If wide receivers with high draft capital are producing, they have ceiling. Like Ladd McConkey was kind of supposed to be safe. Oh my God, he's a wide receiver 1. Justin Jefferson was a safe slot receiver. He's the best receiver in the league. Like, we're
Yeah.
actually pretty bad
We're
at
pretty bad at
assigning
identifying.
ceiling. Yeah. Like, when wide receivers that are drafted highly hit, the ceiling can be really high. So, especially because we play a game that assigns points, at least half a point, whole point for receptions, and you can accumulate yard. You can get bonuses, like, a draft can get bonuses for hitting yardage thresholds. Like, Ibuka can rack up points in these formats for sure. Like, I don't think that the idea of him just being, I mean, JSN, right? Like, JSN,
Yeah.
how much value is he adding to an NFL team versus, a prime Tyreek Hill? Like it's not close, but
It's not close. Yeah.
JSN can blow up if he gets enough receptions. So yeah, I think Ibuka's
also,
he was the number 2, but to superstars,
I get frankly, well, that's the thing. So that is where you start to get into it. It's like, well, is Garrett Wilson a superstar? Is JSN a superstar? Is Chris Olave a superstar? That is where you start.
It was more Harrison and the freshman Jeremiah Smith. I mean, those are the guys blocking Ibuka, and yeah, I mean, I think there's no shame in Marvin Harrison and Jeremiah Smith being ahead of you. There's no shame in that. I know Harrison didn't have the rookie year we wanted, but he was a sick prospect.
What do you want to do here?
Devin Neal seems fine. I'd also be down with Harris. Is Jaden Higgins here? I never get him anymore.
Yeah, let's just.
We could also just reach for him.
You're right. I'm sick of not getting him.
I'm really sick of not getting Higgins. I think we need to raise him up. I think.
Also, another thing that's coloring my Ibuka stuff, and Frank, like, I just am keeping it real, is he would project really well every week in college football DFS, and just never get there. Like, he'd always be fine, but I would play him a ton, and I'd be like, sick, dude, 7 for 66 and a touchdown. Oh, yeah, Jeremiah Smith has 39 points. Fuck. All right. Good stuff.
That archetype is a lot better in the pros than in college.
Way better. Yes. 100%.
Now, shout out to us. Higgins, we do have him up to 139 now. Although still behind Harris, but I don't know. Are you Harris or Higgins at this point? We probably should be Higgins over Harris, I think.
Yeah. It's just because so Cody,
I'm gonna get him up a little higher.
If Golden goes before Burden, why is Burden going ahead? I mean, couple of reasons. First being,
that's what I'm saying.
It could just be total smoke. It would not be insane to me if Golden ends up it's all smoke and he's not a first round pick or not a top 15 pick or whatever.
I don't think it's smoke. I don't think Golden stuff is.
Well,
smoke
I don't think it's smoke, and I also don't think Burden falls out of the first round either.
That to me is what could be smoke. That Burden, people actually like Burden a lot, and they're not talking about. To me, it's like these. I'm more inclined to believe some of the hype than
falling.
The falling, because you only need one team to be like really into the guy, and also if you like a guy and people are shitting on him, you're not incentivized to correct it, but the hype tends to come from people being blown away by the tape and everything, and the tape is a big part of this. And so when I hear people who are actually good at evaluating tape, it's not something I do, but I'm like, okay, this guy's really popping on tape, pretty good for his draft capital if that's the case.
Give me a running back.
Well, who we got
or we could take a tight end. We could take
Harvey. Have we taken Harvey? We talked a lot about him.
I think we did once. Where are we at? Yeah, fuck it. Let's just take Harvey.
Get it in. Come on.
Oh, did I do it?
No.
I think I did. Yeah. No, I did.
Yes.
Yeah. Nimble fingers. Nimble fingers. Every time I take Dalton Kincaid, it feels like taking Zach Ertz, where it's like, sure, I know it's probably good. I saw a great tweet yesterday, one of the parody fantasy football accounts. I almost retweeted it. Oh, autopilot is enabled. Don't get that one all that often.
Wait, you just went on autopilot. Okay.
I clicked it off. Yeah. It's like Dalton Kincaid is one of the most versatile tight ends in the league. He can drop a pass out of the slot. He can line up in line and drop a pass. He can line up in the backfield, drop a screen pass. it's like it's just like, that was very good. It's
Yeah,
very the Commanders would draft a wide receiver at 29 because Debo is 29. People forget Terry McLaurin's 30. Terry McLaurin is like playing like Terry McLaurin is now of an age where if he was just bad this year, like not statistically, but it's just bad because he's old, it wouldn't be insanely surprising.
Yeah, you're right.
Wow. Mario Manningham. Now
God
that
damn, dude.
that is the fact that I know Mario Manningham and have had Mario Manningham on fantasy teams means that I'm an old person.
Now, I feel like the disrespectful Giants comp would have been Sterling Shepard, but then we could have talked ourselves into, oh, actually, Sterling Shepard was
Sterling
pretty
Shepard
productive
was
there.
yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
You'd be surprised. Sterling Shepard had a little bit about his game.
Yeah.
Manningham once scored a 90-yard touchdown to beat my dad. I was in a fantasy league with my dad. And
Are you a Nepo baby? You're saying, oh, on fantasy. Okay.
In fantasy, yeah. He let me see if I can find this play. It would have been.
That was in the NFL for a second.
No, I'm not a Rondé Gadsden the second.
I knew your name sounded familiar.
I gotta see if I can find this play. Yeah, Mario against the Giants, Eli Manning pass complete deep right to Mario Manningham, 92 yards. Beautiful stuff. Nothing like beating your dad in fantasy on a 92-yard Mario Manningham
That's beautiful.
Touchdown.
Let's do DJ Giddens here.
Double up.
Up.
There we go. Giddens and Harvey.
Love it.
Slappy ass team here.
These are two of the real targets here at rookie running back still.
100%.
Get them out of the top 12 rounds.
Man, it's been a long time since we've had someone who smashed, although people do misremember this. So they remember Victor Cruz, oh, he was amazing in the preseason. He scored all those touchdowns, and then people think he immediately smashed after that. No. It was the next year. He spent the whole year on the Vikings and was not good again until the next year.
Okay. Yeah, because what didn't he went off in that preseason game, and then there was like
he 0-0-0'd as a rookie.
Wow.
And then
damn,
it was unbelievable. But the people misremember.
That was an awesome run. You know, I had an incredible run. I know you know this, but Miles Austin.
Oh my God!
Remember before the hammies?
My dad was at the breakout game.
Wow.
At the Miles Austin 4 touchdown game. It was against the Chiefs.
He was so fun. He was literally like, we were like, oh yeah, Des Bryant's a good prospect and everything, but he's not going to be the number one because Miles Austin.
Because Miles Austin is there.
Like that's the level Miles Austin achieved. It was short lived. The hamstring injuries got in the way, but he was really fun.
No, he was incredible. The 2009 season, he goes 10 for 250 and 2 against the Kansas City Chiefs. People forget. It hasn't happened
when you
yet
saw that. You're
Marquez
like,
Callaway.
LOL Chiefs. I'll never root for this team.
Yeah, I was like, LOL Chiefs, losers, idiots. Who's the Chief? Okay, here's some good trivia, guys. Who was the Kansas City Chiefs quarterback in their 2009 loss at home in overtime to the Dallas Cowboys? Do we have any ball knowers?
Trent Green?
Not Trent Green. That was before.
Matt Castle?
Matt Castle. Brenton Strange could be good here.
Sure.
Trying to get a little bit more of him. I was not a believer early on. Had people in the chat telling me, and I was not a believer.
They seem kind of in. Like they're talking him up, like he can do all this stuff. You know, I think they want more blocking out of the position, which, you know, doesn't help us, except it gets him on the field, and, you know, he kind of be in like a Higbee type of role, maybe Otten type role, maybe.
I feel like he's almost more of like a Hunter Henry role guy, where he's like
Sure,
the
yeah, okay.
underneath the target. He's not a target earner. He's a target sponge. Not
Yeah.
derogatory. Target sponge derogatory.
Yes.
Where it's like
yes.
there's just 87 unallocated targets that have to go somewhere.
Right.
And they're
No,
going to
sponge
Brendan
is
Strange.
the right word because you sponge soaks things up like even if it almost doesn't want to. Like you put a, you know, it's like you can
Yes.
kind of just discard a sponge and it'll just quietly soak up some targets. That's kind
Brendan
of how
Strange,
Strange
I
is.
believe. Yeah, he did. He went to. He's another one of the Penn State tight ends who did fuck all. 2020. This is where I run into trouble with the Tyler Warren stuff.
Right.
Because Tyler Warren for a season played behind not one but two tight ends who kind of suck in the NFL. Brendan Strange and Theo Johnson. He was behind both of them.
Yeah. Tyler Warren worries me a little bit as a prospect, only because people are talking him up like he's an elite tight end prospect. I think he's just a good tight end prospect. He's not. Now, some of the pushback that I do kind of did change my mind a little. Is like they're like he can do all this wildcat stuff, and
that's not happening.
But it might happen a little. Like if it happens a couple times a season, it would be.
They didn't happen.
But Warren's a bigger
dude.
dude.
Bowers.
You don't think he gets any like kind of Taysom Hill wildcat stuff?
I literally don't.
No Tucker Craft tush push.
I don't know the answer to this. I'm going to look it up right now. I bet Bowers had more rushing production than Warren did.
But he's small. Warren's a big boy.
All right. Collegiate rushing production, Bowers, 19 rushes, 193 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Okay. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
We should look into this Bowers guy. It might be pretty good.
So Tyler Warren, more rushes, 32 rushes, 224 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Okay. Feels good.
Bond, we're probably good on rookie wide. Actually, we need an adult wide receiver.
Who are the adults left?
Douglas.
Douglas is an adult.
Tolbert.
Douglas feels a little better.
Douglas is the adult. So basically, Warren was used more often in short yardage, but Bowers is better at it.
This coming from Speed Beatman, that talking about tight ends and blocking roles being on the field in goal line situations feels like LCD sound system firing up all my friends' keyboard line. Play the damn hits.
You got to know what the people want. You got to know.
That's the rip. Well, you might not think blocking is important, but it gets them in line. Gets them in line in the goal line, you know? Play action is a big part of the tight end scoring profile, guys.
So the thing about Warren is he's kind of like short and stocky.
Yeah, that helps. That helps is if you're tush pushing.
But does that help for blocking? I feel like being short is like, so people say Loveland is a bad blocker, but I'm like, Loveland is just a giant man. He's got to be good at blocking. So what is this?
Don't have to be good at blocking. I mean, Mike Gesicki's pretty big. You can't block anyone.
Like, guys, I do just want to make this point. Taysom Hill legitimately was just a straight-up quarterback at BYU. Tyler Warren was a lefty quarterback in high school, but not like...
That's actually pretty bullish, because in high school, they'll often play the best athlete at quarterback.
Taysom Hill, Taysom is a one of one.
Yeah.
Like there's really not a comp for Taysom. He only played tight end because really it's like totally a confluence of history that you're not going to find that often, where his coach loved him so much that he was like, we just got to find a way to get you on the field.
Yeah.
How often does that happen in the NFL? Like basically never.
It was weird.
I can't really think of a comp for it.
Yeah. Is Michael Williams top of the sidekick right now, or is it scrolled? Okay.
It scrolled a little.
I was like that. Yeah, scrolled a little. Scrolled a little.
Braylon, Mitchell.
Braylon seems
Burchard.
fine. Burchard is more fun. If you want to have a little fun.
We have 2 rookies already. If he's there coming back around, we can do it.
You took Braylon?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Kadarius Toney was a quarterback. Julian Edelman was a quarterback in college, but I believe he was drafted as, like, I think he went to the combine and stuff as a receiver. I think he knew he wasn't going to be a quarterback.
Yeah. What about dude, who was the actual quarterback that converted to receiver and was like sick for a second and then it stopped? He was on the Browns. I'm blanking. I should know this name.
Terrell Pryor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was fun.
Terrell Pryor did both. So Terrell Pryor started 16 games at quarterback for the Raiders.
Right.
And then had a 1,000-yard season as a receiver for the Browns.
That is so sick. Like, think about how difficult those two things are to achieve as a human being.
No, it's insane, actually.
He started 16 games and then went for 1,000 yards. The dynasty, I'd have to like dig through our history, but Terrell Pryor was traded in our dynasty league for like, it was for like CeeDee Lamb or something. Like, it was something insane. Like, after that season, it seemed like he was going to be a star. Not by me. Yeah. It was like two other people in the league, and probably wasn't CeeDee Lamb, but it was like something that was kind of surprising at the time and did not age well.
Taysom is one of the legendary bird type Pokemons, like Zapdos or something. That's the only name I remember. Zygarde, that's too new for me. I don't know that one. That's too new. I looked at this. Rico Dowdle, also not a quarterback at South Carolina, so it's the same. Oh, the guy I wanted to remember, Roshan Johnson, was a quarterback, and he was actually a quarterback at Texas. He was in the quarterback room at Texas and converted because they ran out of bodies. They just had no healthy running backs, and he was like, all right, sure. And he was a big guy anyway.
Right.
Well, I hope he's not our generation's Terrell Pryor, because Terrell Pryor's post-playing career was very spotted. I believe he got stabbed.
What?
Terrell Pryor. Yeah. He didn't die, but I believe at one point he got stabbed. I mean, Kerrane wants Travis Hunter to go to the Patriots for like many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Jaguars is more fun.
Kerrane, it looks like he did get stabbed.
Yeah.
It's definitely not more fun, right?
I just feel like the Jaguars have a better chance of being a better offense. Like, just my experience of watching the Patriots last year.
For sure they do.
It was so painful.
For sure they do. But we want like a bajillion targets to Travis Hunter. We want him to definitely play receiver out of desperation because they don't have any. Stephon Diggs visited the Patriots, and they basically, everyone left like, like both sides, I think, were kind of like, yeah, I don't know if this is the right fit. Who did we take?
I took Tyler Higbee. We needed an adult tight end. We have Brenton Strange and Colston Loveland.
Yeah, that seems okay.
And Antoine Randall L. Another example of these guys.
The converted
who was, I believe, I want to say he was just a pure quarterback in college.
But I think in like an option quarterback type situation.
Yes, yeah, he threw 1,000 passes and ran 857 times in college, and was drafted in the second round by the Steelers as a wide receiver.
One of the guys who I really wanted to see get a chance was Lynn Bowden.
So he would have, but he was just a huge dick.
Really?
He would have gotten a chance, but dude, Kerrane, this is such a forgotten piece of lore. He was such a dick. He got traded before his career even started. Do you remember this? He got drafted by the Dolphins, and they traded him.
No, he got drafted by the Raiders.
And they got traded to the Dolphins before he ever played.
Yeah. Well, because, dude, I'm on Team Bowden. They drafted him to be a running back. He was a wide receiver who...
Well, he was a quarterback.
No, he was a wide receiver, and they ran out of quarterbacks.
Dude.
And then he played quarterback.
And he didn't throw very much. He only threw 74 times, but he was like a triple option quarterback.
Yeah.
He got in a huge fight at the Belk Bowl
before the game. But they won that game with him at quarterback. I think Bowden was a dog, and the Raiders tried to convert him to running back, which is a position he never played, and he didn't like that. I think Team Bowden.
I think that there's a real good teams, good guys on both sides. All right, we need an adult wide receiver.
You're a big John Gruden guy?
No. We're taking Curtis Samuel unless you can tell me a better adult.
Kayshon Boutte is another Patriot adult.
It feels like Matt Collins maybe put him in the grave.
Tell that to Drake May. He won't stop throwing to him.
Okay. Bowden was a good and Bowden, I mean, he was played in the NFL 2 seasons ago. He caught passes for the Saints in 2023.
Good for Bowden.
I kind of always thought it should have happened for him.
Looks like I mean, I thought he was a slot receiver. You know, like he wasn't a running back.
Jermaine Burton does not factor in these discussions at all. Jermaine Burton is out of here.
Well, I mean, unless you guys think he can convert to quarterback, but I just don't see it happening.
Antoine Randall L threw 27 passes for Pittsburgh and Washington combined, 6 touchdowns. Positively Mohamed Sanu-esque.
Was he a converted quarterback?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's another
one. I forget the lore on him though. That one is, people ask
the lore is the Patriots. What do they trade? A 2nd-round pick for him?
2nd-round pick. Yeah, people forget that the reason why I don't know some of these Pokemon types is that I have to remember
know Mohamed Sanu was a quarterback.
I had to remember Mohamed Sanu being a quarterback at some stage. And I forget the exact. Let me pull up his Wikipedia. He was a quarterback and he was a triple option quarterback in New Jersey. He was ruled ineligible to play in his final season of high school, so he enrolled early at Rutgers and participated in track and field. Then converted to wide receiver and also was a Wildcat quarterback at Rutgers.
If you were a 0-star recruit coming out of high school, productive, college, star your high school team, like you're a legit player, but for whatever reason kind of overlooked, would you do the Cooper Kupp, Cam Skatebo,
Eastern
dominate
Washington, Sacramento State,
go dominate at a smaller school? Or would you do the Lad McConkey walk-on at Georgia?
For sure dominate at a smaller school.
Okay.
It's not, especially with NIL stuff, it's not even close because schools so actively look to the transfer portal now. It was like 10 years ago, way more arcane, way more. You had to sit out a year if you transfer.
Right.
Now, like, go look. So this is a fun game during March Madness. Watch a game, be like, oh, who's the leading scorer? Go pull up his college basketball reference page, see how many schools he's gone to already. There are guys who are on like their 4th school. She's like, I played for I started out at Drake, then I upgraded. I went to Maryland, then I went to the Big Ten. I played at Ohio State. Now I finally made it to the big time. Now I'm playing for Florida or whatever.
The football, I mean, especially because of COVID year, like Skatebo, he's old enough where his 2020 season was canceled because he was at Sacramento State. The season was canceled. So yeah, you still have that. And then like some stuff I was looking at said he was a 2019 prospect. I think it was wrong. He's 2020, but yeah, there's some journeys out there in this draft class.
Raheem Sanders, Jordan James, Keaton Mitchell.
I'm still in on Jordan James. I think he gets drafted in the 4th round, and I'm not sure where Sanders gets drafted. I know James is like crazy slow now, and we're out because he's a bad athlete, but I'm still mixing him in. I think he has a role. If he gets drafted in the 4th round, I think he could easily be like I'm trying to think, like Brian Thomasy, where he's just like, they're just very reliable. He's smaller than Thomas, but his success rate was awesome. And he just like hits the hole. He does what you're like, you draw it up on the board and then you put Jordan James in, and that's how it happens. I think coaches value that. So I'm still in.
I do not know this one. Mike Robinson was a quarterback for Penn State. He was also a running back and a tight end.
Yeah, I didn't know this one either. Wow.
In 2003, he started at quarterback and 5 at running back. He was named the Big Ten Conference Offensive Player of the Year. He was a semifinalist for the Davey O'Brien Award. Threw 505 passes. And then got selected as a fullback. Just like immediate, like, you're a fullback now. Wow. Nick Nash is begging. He is begging to be. I mean, Nick Nash is as old as Tyler Shuck.
He is pretty old, right?
I do love this idea that people have that the way Dane Brugler is doing clickbait is by saying Jordan James is the top 100.
I also love that Dane Brugler is the least clickbait guy out there. Like, Dane Brugler writes a gigantic tome called The Beast that he releases all at once. Like, that's the least clickbaity thing you can do.
That you have to pay for.
That you have to pay for. The entire thing's behind a paywall.
It's behind paywall. And the idea is, what's going to get people to fucking rage by this? If I put Jordan James ahead of Raheem Sanders.
By the way, he's not alone. Like, ESPN has Jordan James rated high. Todd McShay has him barely in his top 100 now, but still in there. So, like, I don't know, guys. Like, there's a number of evaluators who like Jordan James. I think the NFL will probably draft him in the 4th round.
Frankly, I don't really care about this leaks, accurate mock draft. I mean, you're like, how do you score a mock draft? What do you value? Do you value getting 1st round guys right? Do you value getting team to player right? Do you value number of trades right? What do you value in mock draft accuracy?
Well, the thing about, if you want to be a good mock, like, if you look at some of the best mock drafters, like Peter Schrager's mock draft has been very accurate over the years. Schrager's an insider. Schrager's not like a scout, right? Like, he's not sitting down.
He doesn't evaluate guys.
Yeah, he doesn't like grade out the prospects. That's not his thing. What he's doing is he's like NFL media. He's helping us like get better insight into the league. I think some guys are kind of both. I'd say like Daniel Jeremiah is like both an evaluator and an insider. He does both. I think Brugler has some of the insider connections, but primarily, like, what I think he brings to the table is like Brugler's like an NFL quality scout who's releasing publicly the work. Like, we're getting like kind of like no stone left unturned evaluations of these prospects, which I think is extremely valuable. And then he gives you a better insight into like kind of where they should go, how good of prospects they are. That to me is what Brugler, I mean, I'm just very thankful we have Brugler. He's like
the idea that I'll let you guys say whatever you want about fucking McShay or Kuiper or whatever. I will just not allow people to say mean shit about
no Brugler slander.
Dane Brugler works, man.
He puts in the work, like, I mean, like an insane amount of work, and he puts in the work to the point that like when he releases the Beast, he's going to start working on the next Beast, the 2026
his
Beast.
Editors like hate him. They get like they're like he is like, I remember a story that his editor told last year that the Beast was done, it was ready, but he had some fucking Portland State tight end who did like his own pro day type thing, and Dane was like, we really need to make sure to get the height, weight, and 40 in there. Like, we really got to make sure that Sam Waringen's 40 is in there.
Let me see. I'm gonna pull up. Let's see. The 2023 Beast is the one I want.
Is this Bane Drugler would be a good name.
Bane Drugler would be great.
Bane Drugler would be a good name.
I can't. What was the? There's a dude that Connor Rogers and Trevor Sikkema have that they've renamed him because his name was too boring.
Yeah,
I can't remember. It's very funny, but I can't. It's like a pass rusher they renamed. All right, I'm pulling up the 2023 Beast because one of the things he's, I think, very good at is you're kind of getting the the full picture on some of these guys where it's helpful to have it. Or maybe they
he
fall
does.
through.
I mean, he does these insane, fucking 10 paragraph write-ups. Like, I remember the Beast last year. He wrote the most comprehensive Dylan Laube scouting report. And obviously I was like loving all the Laube content I could get. And I was just like, there's just no reason. No one expects this from him.
Yeah.
He could have just put Dylan Laube's height, weight, 40 and stats or whatever. See, this I think is also, he's not just, it's not like he's fucking ChatGPT. He is not just, he's not just Googling it. He's giving you his opinions on the players.
Well, you get like, he's got them all correctly as in terms of what year they were in school. Here's a write-up on CJ Johnson from East Carolina in the 2023 class. He started playing football in middle school, initially as a quarterback. I didn't expect, Dane, that you've done more than I expected there, and it's like every single prospect, that level of detail. I think it's valuable to get the full and complete and correct information. As we know, if you just Google, hey,
you're not getting anything.
Did CJ Johnson? When did CJ Johnson start playing football? There's a service that will just make it up. It's nice to have some accurate information.
It is nice.
Jalen Moreno Cropper from Fresno State was the oldest of 5 children, born and raised in Parlier, which is 20 miles south of Fresno. Southeast, excuse me, Dave. Standout basketball and football player throughout his childhood. Yeah, I mean, come on. Guy puts in the fucking work.
Yeah, you're not getting that. You're not getting that in Mel Kiper shit.
Mel Kiper catching strays.
Mel Kiper does not know. Mel Kiper probably doesn't even know that Roshan Johnson was a converted quarterback. No disrespect.
Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't take any disrespect to that.
But you just got, you have your draft outs and I have mine.
Who the hell is Mel Kiper, says W.
Who the hell is Mel Kiper? All right, Kerrane, what's up with the sidekick, man? And legendaryupside.com.
Sidekick, we got it cooking on Underdog, got it cooking on DraftKings. Gonna be having some. I'm gonna have a podcast coming out here probably later today. I'm gonna record it right after this with Daniel Raz. We're gonna talk through the draft and basically what Daniel is deep in the weeds on right now is like he's got like an incredible portfolio of NFL draft wagers. So I'm kind of want to get his insights on where he thinks the movement is right now in the NFL draft market. And it's going to have some additional rookie content out on the site next week. Going to be streaming, doing some sidekick streams next week as well. So, yeah, lots of great stuff at Legendary Upside. Oh, I should also mention Michael Dubner had a really good article yesterday, if you missed that.
He did. I just read it about the quarterbacks. Brady's back from the range, so he's back in Delaware. He just went to Pittsburgh, or he just went to Pennsylvania. He's now back. All right, boys, that's going to do it for us here today. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure that you are subscribed. And if you want to come hang out with us in Discord and chat ball, you can press the little join button down there. And I'll see y'all back real soon.
It's Short King Summer, dude. It just feels like no one in fantasy sports ever learns anything. Does he mistime it, or is Brock Bowers just a grown man? Brock Bowers is just a grown man. Dare I say, Rich, football might be back. In the words of Lane Johnson, this offense looks